morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Waking Up with Soop and Sugah. You guys are tuning into episode 65. Today is July 18th. Beta Day. Beta Day is here.
Beta Day.
And of course, with me today, the super pumped, super hyped DJJ Gao. Look, he's on
Super
fire.
pumped,
He's so fucking
hyped.
pumped.
I
Look at
am.
that.
Oh my god, I'm so ready. Is it 1 o'clock yet? I mean, seriously, I've been picking at the clock saying, what time is it? Oh, come on.
And then looking extravagant over here. I don't know if she coordinated this or what, but she is comfortable in those warlock slippers.
I'm so comfy.
Sugah tits. How's it going, Sugah?
What's up, guys? Super comfy.
I'm telling you, look at those warlock slips.
I'm beta comfy. I gotta be ready.
I'm being this all day.
Yep.
And then, of course, with us, a returning guardian, young Khan. How's it going, buddy?
I am ready and willing. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yo, super excited. It's beta day.
I only came here for the loot.
Only for the loot. Oh, I left. I was in Fire Team Leader?
Player.
That's funny. Well, whoever it is, you guys can join up on me in orbit.
Player. Oh.
I'm so excited. I left for that, you guys.
Someone's too excited.
I know.
Can't even wait for the group.
Can't wait. I'm already, blowing my Vex milk everywhere.
I'll fix that when we get to orbit. That was my bad. I fell asleep at the wheel. You can blame me. It's all my fault.
But yeah, guys, beta day. How excited are we, beta? 1 to 10.
10.
10? Yeah, I'm pretty 10 too. I'm not gonna lie.
Off the charts. 10's not even a fair number.
I'm gonna have to go with the 10 there. I'm gonna go, outside the box and go with the 10. Say 10.
So I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely gonna restrain myself as far as story goes. I'm gonna try to only play the story mission like maybe max 3 times.
I thought you said 2 times before.
Oh my god, that number did go up, didn't it? Damn.
It did.
It's not even out yet.
Shit, see already
But
I'm
I
giving
do
in.
have questions on that, by the way.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, story mode. Is it solo or can you run with some other people?
So you should be able to run it with other people. They said the clan features were disabled, but I think your friends list will still be there, and you'll be able to join people off that roster.
Okay.
It would be because that's the way it was for the first beta. Right?
I didn't have friends the first beta. Oh no!
Damn! Everyone played alone first beta. We don't know. Oh no!
We don't know.
Vanilla was just you landed. You were just there. You're dead. You came to life. So it might not be. It's 2 story missions, right? 2.
It's 1 story mission.
I thought it was
strike.
1 story mission, one strike, and cruise.
Or are you
control.
talking original beta?
Oh no! This one. Maybe there's nothing.
Yeah, there's
Maybe
one.
there's only 1 person.
We're doing the
it's
homecoming.
gotta be 1 person story mode. Yeah.
Damn, 1 person story mode. I mean, I guess that would allow me
I'm
to.
thinking that it might be solo.
Wow.
I don't know why, but for some reason I'm thinking it's solo. I'm kind of hoping it's not,
solo.
just that we can run with our friends. But
same in my head, Destiny's always been a team thing. I've always
Yeah.
even when I run story, I've ran it with Sugah, right? When we started playing Destiny, I played alone for a little bit, but then I was running everything with Sugah, and then once the expansion started coming out, it'd be like, oh well, we're doing House of Wolves with Bicho, or we're doing Taken King, with Jeremy, whoever was on at that point. So I just. Man, I don't know. I hope they give us the ability to join up, because it would definitely make the towers burning down and you guys have to save it feeling a lot more authentic if there's more than one guardian trying to save it.
Right. And I'm wondering are we only allowed to bring in one of our guardians? Can we bring in all 3, or do we have to create one?
That's another great question. I was kind of under the assumption, because they're not letting you keep anything you get from the beta, that you're just going to make a new character.
Yeah.
That seems like a safe assumption. It seems like a lot of trouble to go before a beta to port your character in.
Yeah.
Also, because the whole point of doing Destiny 2 and not doing another expansion like the Taken King was to get new people into it. And if you're going to get new people into it, you have to give them the opportunity to create their own guardian.
Yeah, if that option was there. You know, like Dead Island, if you wanted to go to Riptides, you could either create a new one or bring the other guy with you. And they're gonna give us that option to bring it.
Like Khan said, I think that'll be more of a game feature than a beta feature. It would be smart of them to test it out during the beta.
That's definitely a feature in the game, yeah. It's definitely a feature for D2.
So
you can port your characters in, but I might remake a couple of my characters because they're hideous.
Well, I hope they give us more character slots. Maybe like one more, like at least one more. Let me make one more character. Like you're gonna tell me they're gonna be
truly bald. I don't know what it is.
You're gonna tell me that they're gonna release Destiny 2 with all the old facial and hair features from Destiny 1, and they're not gonna add any new ones for new people coming in? I don't know. I think they're gonna add new stuff.
They didn't add beards.
I mean, yeah, duh. They fucked up real hard there. That's why Destiny 2 is only going to be an 8 for me instead of a solid 10 when it comes out. But listen. They've definitely, because that was like one of the gripes. It was like the hairstyles weren't very, you know, they didn't have a lot of variance. Same thing with like the facial
went all
features.
Just metal headbangers. I just did all long hair, and
all those
I like my guys, you know, except for my Warlock who's an Exo. I mean, you know, but I'm keeping all my guys. I'm not going to make a new one. You know, these are the people that I've created and survived Destiny 1, and they're going to come to Destiny 2.
Yeah. The bad news in chat is saying we got the story mission, the Homecoming, we got the Strike, the Inverted Spire, we got 2 PvP modes, Control, and the new one. What's it called?
Countdown.
Inverted Spiral. A countdown, yeah. I was thinking Strike.
3 exotics and 9 armor sets, apparently, too. That is... 3 exotics. I mean, that'll be... I wonder... They didn't say they were going to drop engrams. They specifically said they weren't going to drop engrams during the beta. So I wonder how we're going to be getting loot. If it's going to be like, turn in, get it?
Not sure exactly how anything's going to work.
Maybe you just pick up the guns. That'd be... Because, I mean, we have to have the experience of getting new weapons, right? We can't just... Maybe they'll do what they did for E3. They'll give us, like, our inventory will be full of guns. And then we'll be able to, like, swap out from there. It's going to be interesting to see how that works. You're falling behind. Guys, the farm is only going to be open for an hour on Sunday.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to be like... And they didn't announce when, either. Like, they haven't said...
Us.
Oh, Con?
It's going to be noon your time, 1 o'clock my time.
Oh, my goodness.
For 1 hour.
Some Bungie time. Okay. They're doing...
Yeah, Bungie time. So what's going to happen is they're going to open it up, and the whole system's going to crash.
Of course.
Everybody's going to go.
There's going to be so much explosions, it'll be an implosion.
Oh, that was the implosion. Okay, all right. Wow. Sunday. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be at work. I don't think I'll be able to farm it up. Sugah might be able to farm it up.
Maybe.
I might be able to. I don't know. It depends on the DIY that's going on at the time.
I'll be like at work, and even if I brought my system, like I'd have nowhere to put it. Like set it up in the back. Like, oh, I'm taking my lunch break. I'll be back in 30 minutes.
Yeah, that'll go over well.
So, just funny because they used to have a couch in that back area, and then they moved it. If it was still there, I'd be pretty tempted. I'd be like, "Shug, pull up in the back. We'll unload the PS4 and the TV.
It'll be fine.
Some Mission Impossible shit. We'll sneak in through the back door and set it up." So I mean, that time, I guess. I guess I can see why they would do it. Middle of the day, people are around, you know. But
they're kind of hoping that people aren't around, so their system crashes.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I would normally be at church in that hour.
Oh, would you? If you weren't working, that's where you would be?
That's where I'd be.
I see. I definitely understand. I mean...
Does not sound legit at all. I'm not sure why I believe you.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, judging by the giggles.
Oh, man. But yeah, can't wait. Now, I know when we had Con previously on here, we had talked about, which is funny because it was pre-Destiny 2 reveal, so we were just speculating all sorts of crazy stuff, talking new subclasses, talking how disappointed we'd be if they recycled subclasses. And then here we are, and it's like, you guys get your Fist of Havoc back, you get your Nova Bomb, you get your Golden Gun back. They're tweaked just a little bit.
You get 6 shots now with Golden Gun on one of the perks.
It's true. It's true. You got to fire them off fast, though. You can't be taking your time and looking for people sometimes. Like, it's going to be that type of super where you better pop it at a control zone to get the most kills. Otherwise, you're going to be running around going, oh, maybe there's one guy here. Oh, no, that guy got killed. Let me go back over here. Oh, man, I got halfway to the super bar. Let me just shoot 3 off and hope I hit something. Like, that's what I, like, expect to see a lot of. At least until people get used to it. And like I said, once they start playing with it in those group sessions, I don't know if Rift is coming back, but that would be a great thing for Rift. You know how the whole team is running at you, trying to protect the runner. Golden Gun, bam, 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 right there.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
Well, you might not even need those 6 shots. Only 4 players in the match, so...
That's true. That's also true.
That's true. I don't like that part of it.
You're still not confident with that? Still hate it?
I just don't like it. I mean, you know, you can get 8 in the party. There should have been 8 in the squad.
That's in PlayStation. Though. You don't know what Xbox.
Like
is
Xbox,
like.
yeah, Xbox has up to 12 people, I believe. You can get into a party.
Yeah.
How many do they have?
12.
12.
Lucky.
Damn.
They can have 2 raid teams in there.
And
So,
we have, and it's hilarious.
Tell me what else. Your Xbox Live.
That Xbox. Well, he'll be getting his exclusives soon. His Taken King exclusives on Xbox soon.
Oh,
so he's very excited about that.
Yeah, I am actually.
Jade Rabbit, here you come. What else was it? Wasn't there the armor piece? Wasn't it the Warlock boots?
Remember
Remember the
armor. I think it was just weapons.
It was just the weapons? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So... Oh, man. This... Xbox got boned hard there.
Yeah, they did.
So, guys, I mean, we're obviously excited about the beta. I'm going to play a lot of Crucible. I'm going to play a lot of that new... Damn it. What is it called?
The new game mode?
Countdown?
Countdown. There you go. That's why
Countdown to Control?
Countdown. Yeah, Countdown. Well, definitely, I think a lot more Countdown than Control. Because I'm used to Control. I know what Control is. If anything...
They've changed something about it. It's not the same.
Really? Not the same? Oh, man. Wow.
Enemy captured Zone B.
And they didn't say what?
Not at all.
No, it's a surprise. I'm excited. It's 4-man control for one.
For one, yes. You know what? I keep forgetting that. I seriously do. I keep thinking Countdown is 4. You forget. I forget. That is hard. I see why Gao's having a problem with it. That is...
Thank you.
It's gonna be difficult for some people, but I'm guessing the bracketing will be... There's no skill-based matchmaking in the beta either, so... Anybody that's gonna jump in and gets put up against some higher tier guys is gonna have a hard time.
It's true.
You're going to have a bad time.
You might have a bad time, son. Oh my god. But I think the biggest thing, like I said, was that Countdown. Just because I want to get that. I want to get that right away. That when it comes out, I want to be good at it. I want to be good at it. You know?
I know how I am. I'll be bad at it for the first 6 months, regardless.
Oh, man.
I'll just be bad at it, but I'll keep trying.
I'll keep trying for sure.
Well, the way I've seen it, I don't know. I like because I've seen it, so I like it, and I feel like I'll probably get the hang of it within maybe 10 matches. 10 matches, and I'll get the hang of it, and then I'll start having fun. I think the biggest things to adapt to and consider are going to be the power, the power ammo. Only one person gets it, and but I'm definitely going to have fun with the loadouts, being able to do the hand cannon and the scout. I won't even be upset that I don't have sniper ammo or shotgun ammo. And in those points, like you said, 4-man team, like maybe the person who is the best with a sniper should get the ammo, you know. So it's gonna be fun making those choices. Again, especially in Countdown, because it's kind of a 2-objective game. You either wipe out the team or you detonate the bomb. Like 2-objective game.
Which sounds like this thing we used to do in Killzone 3.
See, a 2-objective game, I think, is kind of new for me, I want to say. Like, maybe just because I've been playing Destiny for so long.
That's been the Crucible that you play?
Yeah, it's true.
That's, I guess, how I felt when I was kind of playing certain modes on The Division, right? Because, like, it was a completely different game mode with PvP style versus Destiny PvP.
Destiny PvP.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that either.
Yeah, it was definitely something different that I was like, oh man, oh man.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see what we fall into. I'm sure some people are gonna love Control and they're just gonna be playing Control all the time. Some people are gonna absolutely hate Countdown, the way people hated Supremacy when it came out. I love Supremacy. I thought it was great.
I do too.
Being able to pick up kills and have kills matter and be more thoughtful about how you're going about something. I thought was great. So, but there are people who absolutely hate it. They're like, "Oh, it's just a fucking shotgun fest."
It's fun.
It was.
It was.
Now it's a sidearm fest. You get pick your poison now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a sidearm fest for sure.
But you can't let that deter you from like the game mode, like you know, you just can't.
I'm looking forward to the strike. That is gonna be fun.
I don't want to play that too much, like you know, a select. 2 lucky people get to play the strike with me, like, because I'm only running it once.
Wow.
I don't know.
Who's coming with me?
Right? Ooh, pick a number, 1 to 10. I'm picking out of a hat. I just don't want it to get old, you know? I don't want to play this 10, 12, 20, 30 times, and then, you know, when the game comes around, you're like, oh, I gotta do this strike, I guess I'll just go through this strike.
I think it all matters who you're doing it with. That's what it comes down to.
Okay.
I'm gonna run it a couple times, but I am gonna do the Crucible a lot just so that I can at least try to be mediocre.
Mediocre. Get used to the feeling of, oh god, what the Luna. Get used to the feeling of not only 4 people, but also, like I said, the ammo, because the ammo is going to be different now on pickup, and also the guns. Get a feel for the guns. The guns. Like, I wonder if they're going to allow us to upgrade them, like be able to fill in the bubbles, get some perks up, like getting used to those new perks, because they've said they're going to be set perks now. Like,
yeah,
that's why I thought it would be good to do the strike a couple times so that you can get used to these weapons before you go and get your ass handed to you in Crucible.
Yeah. So I mean, the weapons that they give us, they said, you know, they said these stats aren't going to stick around, so like I wouldn't go looking for the meta right now during the beta.
Right.
Yeah. Betas are a non-existent meta. It's going to be, because something's going to break the meta as soon as you get, you know, a wider access to the guns. I heard the progression's not going to be exactly, there won't be any character progressions, what they said. So I think all the nodes for your subclasses might be unlocked, and there might be some nodes that will just stay locked for the beta. So you won't be unlocking nodes, is what I understand. You'll just have your character.
Nice.
That goes back to your first point of maybe that there won't be any, you know, porting of old characters. You'll just have a character that's partially unlocked.
Yeah, definitely. Now this other big one, I know we've talked about weapons, we've talked about armor. How many like shaders, ships, sparrows do we expect to see? None? 1? A few?
For beta, I
Maybe
think
they may do like 5, 3 to 5, maybe.
Yeah, for beta Shug.
I'm thinking 2.
I feel like 1.
You know, just this color or this color, this color or this.
Or maybe
color.
not at all. Maybe it's for the armor you have on. It'll be the color you keep. At the beginning of the game, there's no shader for to level 5 or something
Exactly,
like that.
like you don't unlock shaders. So it'll say you can hover over and we might be able to view things. Maybe they'll have a kiosk set up at the farm or something like, you know, because.
Oh, maybe.
Yes, exactly. Like we don't necessarily bring things with us, but at the farm we have created some new things. You know, we've gone out, we found dyes, whatever it is, and so maybe we have a little option that we might be able to see what will be unlocked after a certain point. But I don't think we'll be able to.
Or maybe if we do find something during the game and we do go to the farm, maybe there's something there like a vault. And if we stick it in that vault, it's ours when the game comes out.
That would be really cool. That's why I'm going with it's not going to happen. It's just too good to be true.
Yeah, it is.
Like
Too good to be true.
If you have a really good idea, just automatically assume that Bungie's doing the opposite. So guys, let's move on.
Too real.
I know, right? We're very excited about Destiny, but let's move on to other video game news because we have a lot of cinema madness to cover. So other video game news, guys, is just super quick. If you love your Pokemon Sun and Moon, you guys can now pick up a shiny Tapu Kaku. I'm horrible. Tapu
Watch
Koko.
your mouth.
He comes, of course, with a set move list. He comes with Nature's Madness, Discharge, Agility, Electro Ball. So this is one of those Pokemon that you can't catch shiny in the game. So this is your opportunity to get one if you're about that life. I know there's a lot of people that are. So the way to get it. All right, now you guys listen. Are you listening? You better fucking be listening.
This is important.
All right.
I'm trying.
You know, open up your 3DS. You know, turn on your Pokemon. You gotta make sure your Wi-Fi is activated. Okay, you can't be out in the park where there's no fucking Wi-Fi. All right, and then what you want to do is you want to hit Mystery Gift, and you're gonna get that via internet. It's gonna download. You're gonna log on to the game. You're gonna hit the Pokemon Center and talk to the guy that is standing off to the left. He's got the gift for you. So just go ahead, receive your Pokemon. You got it. It's come with a set move list. Of course, the nature is going to be random. So hopefully you get a good one. Either something with speed or special attack. And guys, have a blast. If you have Sun and Moon, you guys get one for each. So have at it. Hopefully you get a good one. I only have Sun, so I'm only going to get one. If I get a bad one, then I get a bad one. But at least I'll have a shiny one. So that'll be going on, guys. Do it up for this month, and then I wonder what they'll give us next month, because last month they gave us four Mega Stones that weren't previously available in Sun and Moon. So they're doing a pretty good job of giving us free stuff along through the months. Pokemon Company still making money. So guys, let's move away from the video game, okay? I know, very short video game news, but we have a lot to talk about as far as D23. Like, D23 happened this weekend, so that's the Disney Expo, the D23 Expo. That's where Disney brings their Marvel, their Star Wars. They brought Kingdom Hearts. We got a new Kingdom Hearts trailer. This qualifies as video game news because they showed off. We're going to get the Tangled universe. We're going to get the Big Hero 6 world. We're also going to get... They showed it off in the trailer, which was really fucking exciting. We're going to get the Toy Story world. So we're going to be able to, like, go... We're going to be toys. Sora, Goofy, and Donald are basically toys in Andy's room. The graphics look so fucking good. Like, I can't wait. They've given this thing a 2018 announcement date. They haven't given it a specific date, but 2018 is what they said, which I'm fine with. Summer, spring, even fall of 2018, I am completely fine with all of that.
I mean, you've waited long for the game.
Yeah, I've waited a real long time.
I mean,
like,
you might as well just keep
Kingdom
waiting.
Hearts 2 came out on the PS2.
Yeah, it's been
dude. Yeah, it's been
while.
a while. Yeah.
I think I've been waiting about the same amount of time you've been waiting for I've been waiting for Shinmu, so I know you feel.
Yeah, so I'm just at this point, just get it right. And I don't not even get it right, get it perfect. At this point, you better get it perfect. I have no question that they can. You know, they did it with the first two games. You know, I recently went through the first Kingdom Hearts on the PS4 and was able to gather all the materials and get all the Keyblades and do all this stuff. Just like hours of grinding, but it was so fun, that JRPG grinding. But oh my god, did I love every minute of collecting that stupid shit to be able to make the most powerful sword in the game and fucking go about slaughtering every boss in the game. Like, it was totally worth it. And that's the kind of shit that I can't wait for them to bring in. Now it's just about the better graphics, the more bodacious move sets. Like his Keyblade turns into a gauntlet, and he just starts like fist of havocing everywhere. Like that looked really cool. And then at one point it turns into a mallet, and he like smashes the floor. And Sora makes like this. It looks like the earth like opened up, and there's like an earthquake or something. Like, it looks really good. Like, Square Enix, of course, very good job with this game. Disney, I think this is the only video game property that Disney's like, you know, we're never going to give up on this. This is the one. Because there's been a lot of other Disney video games that they just made money. They made money, but apparently not that Disney money. You know, the Infinity. Right, because the Disney Infinity figures, there was a slew of people out there that loved collecting them the way Josh collects amiibos.
Yeah.
Like, they would buy 2 or 3. Yeah. One to open and use, one to keep sealed away, and the other one, you know, for whatever. Because I'm a nerd. Because I'm a fucking nerd. So, it made money, but, you know, because it wasn't like, I guess, a billion-dollar thing. Disney was like, well, it's pocket change. We can just,
we can just not focus on
it. I'll put this in the kitty jar. Same thing with, they made those really good, the Mickey Mouse games for the Wii.
Yeah.
Right? They had 2 of them. They were really good, where he, like, went about the different universes that Mickey's been into, so you got to see him in, like, you know, with the sorcerer, and you got to see him hop like back in time. So he was black and white Mickey, and then they gave you that thing where you can like, there was the magic game where you could like there was like a brush, a paintbrush that you can make paths with it, and there was so much. That game was so innovative. And again, it sold. It was a hot game. You know, like I remember it came out the same time as one of the Super Mario Galaxies. I think it was 2. And like I had the choice of like, ooh, do I play this or do I play that? But that Mickey game was so good that I was like, well, I'm playing this for like the rest of the time. And I like beat the shit out of that game. And they were one of the studios that took into consideration like the Wiimote and the way the Wii worked, because there were a lot of games that were ported over to the Wii, but they weren't as fun as games that were made for the Wii. So, you know, again, it's one of those things where it made money, but obviously not that Disney money. But Kingdom Hearts, because of I want to say it's because of the dual markets, right? You get that overseas market that's super fucking hot, plus the Japanese market. Like, already in Japan, people are foaming at the mouth, and we're over here too, foaming at the mouth. Like, it's and like all the little stuff that they've put out too, like all the 3DS games, they like put out a mobile game. They put out a mobile game, like, you know, it's I think, you know, if they made a Kingdom Hearts movie the way they made a Marvel movie, Disney, I don't know. They are Scrooge McDuck swimming in fucking gold coins right now.
That's
like,
oh yeah, they get that Jedi money, they got that Spider-Man money. You're out of control.
It's completely out of control. So, now that, D23 has happened, we got our Kingdom Hearts tease, we got a date. Guys, let's move on to the movie side of it, okay? And we're going to start with our Spider-Man review before we go into any D23 stuff. So, let's begin our next segment of the day, which is appropriately titled Cinema Madness. Guys, Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, I specifically wanted a guest on this show that saw the movie, and not only saw the movie, likes Spider-Man, and not only likes Spider-Man, but can give you a really good, opinion on how he felt about the movie. That's why I was like, Khan, did you see this motherfucker? He was like, yes, I saw it. I was like, thank you.
That was verbatim what he said.
Yeah.
I was like,
I think he was in church when he called me too. It was weird. I was like, oh man, he is really passionate.
So I was like, yes, Khan has seen it. I know Khan's gonna have a lot to say about this movie. So I told Gao too. I was like, yo, Gao, you need to see this movie. I know you're extremely busy. I'm guessing you didn't catch it. Unable.
No, I did not.
Oh,
Okay.
man,
Sorry.
All right. Well, your virgin ears are going to get some spoilers, and this goes.
Dad, let it spoil away.
So sorry.
And this
Go
also
for it.
goes for everyone in chat, everyone watching, guys. This is a spoiler review because you can't go into how good this movie was without spoiling it. Okay? Because just off the bat for me, this movie was like a solid 9. It wasn't a 10 out of 10, but goddamn, it was close. Okay? And for more reasons than just one. Spider-Man is a small-time hero. Okay? Not only is he a small-time hero, they kind of set the... I don't want to say the budget was lower. It was like a lower budget than your usual Iron Man movie or anything else. And that wasn't because, of Sony Marvel rights issues. That was because they kept everything small for that Spider-Man feeling. I think one of the biggest moments in this movie isn't when the Vulture is fighting Spider-Man in the sky. It isn't some outlandish CG fight. It isn't some huge reveal. It's, I don't know about you guys, for me, the best scene in this movie was the car scene. When Michael Keaton, when they were all in the car and they're driving to prom, or the homecoming dance, that scene, the acting in that scene was... Michael Keaton was on point. Let's throw that out there right away. Michael Keaton as the Vulture knocked it out of the park. We finally got a blue-collar superhero, okay? And that's very important. Because in the past... it's like some rich guy who got this, or someone that was out on a vengeance spree. Because, for example, Whiplash from Iron Man 2, because Tony Stark had taken, his father has taken his father's invention and turned into the arc reactor that made him Iron Man and all this other crap. So he kind of, he was coming for what. All that money and all that stuff that Tony Stark had, Whiplash kind of felt that was his right as well, being that his father worked on the arc reactor. And, same thing with the Red Skull, Captain America. The Red Skull is, as close to fucking Hitler as you can get. So, the guy had castles and people serving him and armies at his disposal. Vulture had none of this. The Vulture was just a working guy who... And they did it great. They set this movie up great.
Oh, yeah. The way he had his contract pulled from under his body, it was... The setup was... It was something you would read in the headlines. How something would go down. It was amazing how they actually put it together. I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming at all.
Yo, I didn't see the girl, Liz Allen, and then Adrian Toombs, the Vulture. You don't see it, okay? We'll get to that in a minute, but you don't see it coming. So yeah, they open up with the Battle of New York, which is of the Avengers, the first Avengers movie. Okay, now for Spider-Man fans and for nerds, it's gonna get real nerdy here in 2 seconds. Okay? It's gonna get super fucking nerdy. You guys have no idea. So they set up they set up the aftermath of the fight, and I think the big Chitauri thing that they're cleaning up, I'm pretty sure is the same one that the Hulk and Thor take down, that ends up in the Stark Tower. Mm-hmm. When Hulk punches Thor, that comedic moment, I'm pretty sure that's the same. Like that's the same area. Mm-hmm. That's the one that they're taking apart and scavenging. So they open up there. It's just he's just a working man. He got a contract from the city to clean up all this shit. So he's
that's in Grand Central Station. That's where they shot that one at. That's where.
I was thinking that's where one of those went down, was in Grand Central Station.
Yeah, so he got the contract. He's just a working guy. He's a working guy. He got a city contract. He's just like one of these poor guys that got a contract to work on the Death Star. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's just there for work to feed his family. And then Tony Stark, he decides, of course, to put together his own team. It's his responsibility, especially after Civil War. He feels it's his responsibility to pick up a lot of this stuff. So he basically puts together the Damage Control. And Damage Control it used to be a comic, guys. You can pick it up off the rack. And it was basically companies like Tony Stark's company, the Kingpin, putting crews together to clean up after all these New York fucking fights that the Avengers and Spider-Man and giant fucking robots and aliens would have. So I love the way they pulled that from the comic sources. And then they incorporated Adrian Toombs, the Vulture, into that. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, sure, the Vulture was a bad guy, but and I've never related with a bad guy so much before in my life. He was a guy that was trying to do everything the right way. Get his job, get work. I got permits for this. I went to the city, and then someone comes up under me and just takes everything. Right? He had a whole bunch of people to look after. Not only his family, but he had a whole crew of working people to look after. So of course, as a boss, as a manager, as a leader, you want to make this work any way that you can. And because he basically, like Khan said, he had the rug pulled from under him, he decides that, this last shipment, there's a last shipment that gets left of Chitauri shit, and we're not going to haul this. We're going to change with the times. We're going to build shit, because the Tinker is on his work team. We can work with this. We're going to turn it into some stuff and sell this stuff, and then whatever comes of it, comes of it. I'm sure his original...
the part that he fought against that made it more believable is that Tony Stark creates this mess and then he's the person in charge of cleaning it up. So he's getting paid to clean up his own mess, which was like a double slap down for Toombs. It was
like Al Gore paying for fucking carbon credits.
It is.
It's exactly what it is. It's Al Gore paying for carbon credits.
Not fair. It's wait, you own that company. You're making that money back. That makes no sense. That makes no sense, Tony Stark.
That's like hiring, BP to clean up oil spills. You motherfuckers!
Which I'm pretty sure they did. I'm pretty sure that was the thing that happened. I'm not going to rule that out.
So, it's just... It is really, really awesome the way that was incorporated. It just made you feel for the character more. Like I said, I've never sided with a bad guy so much in my life. You're yeah, well, that's some shit. That's some shit I'd probably do. That's pretty fucked up. And I'm sure his original intention wasn't I'm gonna make weapons and we're all gonna become bad guys. His original intention was probably we're gonna make some cool shit and we're gonna sell it. But the biggest market, unfortunately, is the black market. Like, if you want to move up fast in the world, that's where you do it, baby. So, you know, it just turned into making, you know, he could have easily, you know, been designing flying cars and motorcycles, but that doesn't sell as much as something that's going to help someone rob a bank. So
it's the escalation problem. You got superheroes, and they need supervillains.
Exactly.
True. And we get to see the Tinker. We get to see two Shockers. All right. Now the first one was an original character scripted for the movie.
Spoiler: he does not last long.
He does not last long. And even then, right? Like, the Vulture kills him, right? And you kind of get this sense of, yo, the Vulture's a bad dude. Like, you've seen him in what he's done, because he hasn't really done any bad shit, right? He steals some shit from rich people, he repurposes it and sells it to other people. Like, he's not really a bad guy. He's like a bad middleman, but he's not really a bad guy, right?
True.
But then you see him just completely fucking kill this other dude because he pisses him off.
By accident.
Right, and then they find a way to pull it back, too, which is great. Which is fucking great. Because at that moment, you're like, yo, you're like, I related with this guy up until now. And then you pull it back and you're like, all right, oh, I'm back. All right, we're back. I like you again. So
Which is not easy to do at all.
It is not. It is not. Like, it was so... And I gotta tell you, throughout the whole movie, like, I was on that... I don't think I ever disliked the Vulture. Like, even at the end of the movie, when he was put away and he went to prison, and you know, Matt Gargan asks him, like, yo, I hear you know who Spider-Man is. He doesn't tell him that Spider-Man is Peter Parker.
No.
Like,
so you still like him at the end of the movie, basically. It's crazy where they did it.
He's a respectable bad guy.
I will tell you this: at the end of the movie, I was literally sad. I was visibly upset. You know why I was upset?
Because that whole family was uprooted?
No. I was upset because Sony will get the rights back to the movie.
Oh.
And I was that upset.
Well, let me calm you down for a little bit, all right, baby girl? Because Spider-Man's going to be in the Avengers Infinity War, okay? Infinity War is going to be a 2-part movie, so you're going to get to see Spider-Man in Marvel's hands for 2 Avengers movies. Not only that, Spider-Man Homecoming 2 takes place right after the first Infinity War, before the second part of Infinity War, so Marvel still has their hands on that too. So you're still going to get 1 more good Spider-Man movie and 2 more good Spider-Man team-up movies. All right? So dry those tears, baby Khan. Dry those tears.
So upset.
But yeah, the issue that's being debated at this point is that 3rd Homecoming movie. That is when Sony can reach out their lizard-like claws and snatch that back. Yeah. So I guess we'll see. Because, all right, in a perfect world, guys, for Soopkichen, in a perfect world, we see Avengers Infinity War. Spider-Man does great. People love Spider-Man. The Venom movie comes out. It fucking tanks. Sony does horrible with the Venom movie. So what do? You know what?
They fall back on Spidey?
You guys go ahead. Keep doing Spider-Man, because we're losing money over here doing all these stupid shit. So you keep Spider-Man. You guys keep doing that. Keep making us money on that end. In a perfect world.
One thing they've done well recently is Deadpool.
Yeah.
And that's all Ryan Reynolds' fault, so...
Yeah, but that's Fox. That's not Sony.
I know. That's the only movie Fox has done right. Oh, no, that's Fox?
Yeah, that's Fox.
Oh, I thought that was Sony.
Nope, Deadpool Fox.
Oops, never mind. Take it back.
Ha-ha!
JK, whole statement recanted.
Ha-ha! Sony, you haven't done shit right since Spider-Man 2. Sam Raimi. So, which I still think, even though this is a good Spider-Man movie, I still think that Spider-Man 2 Sam Raimi movie has, I think, a little more than the Homecoming movie does. Like, it has a little more.
So?
Yeah, I think so. Like, for anyone who debates it, please go back and watch that Spider-Man 2. It had, I think they took a lot of what Sam Raimi used for the Homecoming movie. Because the Spider-Man villain is a villain that not only connects with Spider-Man, but connects with Peter Parker. I think that's what made Doc Ock one of the most interesting villains, all right, from Spider-Man 2, is that Peter Parker had this connection with him, all right? And they do that here, too, unknowingly. That's the only thing that they do here that hasn't been done before, is that plot twist, all right? Because you go through the whole movie, Spider-Man is fighting the Vulture. I think he encounters the Vulture twice before he gets to physically know who the Vulture is, okay? He has the original fight where he doesn't even know that the Vulture's there. The Vulture kind of surprises him, swoops up, and that's the first Vulture fight. The second Vulture fight is the one on the ferry, because Spider-Man is tracking the Vulture, and I think that's the fight where the Vulture and Spider-Man make eye contact, and the Vulture isn't wearing his flight suit. And that's the moment that Peter Parker sees the Vulture's face and knows who the Vulture is, but doesn't have a name yet. He doesn't have a name yet. He doesn't have a relation. All right? He's just seen the guy's face. So, the third time, and I don't know about UConn, but when we were in the movie theater, there was an audible response from everyone. Everyone was like, oh, oh shit. Oh, shit. So, Liz Allen, who's the girl that Peter's been crushing on for the most of the movie, she asks him out, and they go out to Homecoming. So he's got to go.
Is it Emma Stone?
No. Wow. No.
Sorry.
Sorry.
So that was years ago, guy. Years ago. That dementia's kicking in.
Well, wasn't she in Spider-Man 2?
That was Amazing Spider-Man.
Yes.
With Andrew Garfield.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So Liz Allen, he's been crushing, and they go to Homecoming, so he has to come and pick her up. Now, before he comes and picks her up, there's an amazing montage of him and Aunt May, right? He basically asks Aunt May's help to get ready for the school dance. Like, I need to look good, I need to smell good.
I need to be able to dance.
I need you to tell me not to boy so hard so I'm scaring off girls. Like, I need your motherly advice. And this is a great moment. I think they did it really well. I think Aunt May... I could have used a little more Aunt May during the movie. I think there's going to be a lot more Aunt May now, though, because of the end of Spider-Man 1. But I think Aunt May, they used her exactly the way they used Tony Stark in this movie. Not too much, right? If you have too much Aunt May, then it kind of becomes the whole... It becomes a depressing Spider-Man instead of, like, a fun Spider-Man. I think that's the problem. That was the problem with, like, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans. It was just too depressing.
Yeah, they were going too many directions with that. They were trying to push too many things all at once.
Yeah.
And it was just like, they're trying to go Batman, but it was Spider-Man. It was rough.
It was rough. It's true. It was rough.
It was rough.
So they do a very good job of... She's kind of between that big sister mom. You're right. She's not quite the mom, but she's not quite the big sister. She kind of falls in between. Because of her age, but not only that, because of the way she she has a life. She interacts with Peter Parker. She knows what the world is like. She knows about dabbing. She knows about, all this shit that's going on. She's not like this old parent that is stuck in their old ways and all they know is what was printed in the 60s. Mm-hmm. So that like brings a connection to Peter Parker and Aunt May that is fantastic, comes off great. like I said, that whole montage was beautiful. Yep. It really felt like a high school moment, and this whole movie was like a superhero high school movie.
And I felt like he was in high school. The actor fit, his surroundings very well.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't like this 30-year-old guy that is in high school.
Yeah, that's like overly buff and just like overly developed. Like they picked an actor that still has that age. That I felt like I was dealing with a young kid. His emotions,
and I think that's why the car scene works so well.
Yeah,
like when Tom Holland
in the back seat.
Yeah, and Liz Allen are in the back seat, and Michael Keaton is in the front seat. Michael Keaton isn't talking to this guy that's like 5 years younger than him.
Exactly.
Michael Keaton is talking to this kid, who's
scared, who's scared of him as a young child,
so. Before we get there, so Peter Parker looks good. He goes to pick up Liz Allen. Aunt May drives him up to the door, to the front door. There's like a really funny interaction where Aunt May is like, remember to tell her that she looks nice, but don't be creepy about it. So he goes up to the door. He knocks on the door. We're all waiting. The door opens, and who's at the door but the motherfucking Vulture?
Yeah, that shit was great.
Adrian Toomes.
Oh, it hit me so hard.
It was great.
My God.
It was great.
And for a moment, for a hot second, right? For a hot second, you're like, shit, the Vulture's here. He found out who Spider-Man is.
That's what I thought. I was like, damn, he figured it out. He's here. Because he's like, hey, Peter. And I was like, fuck, he figured it out. How did he figure it out? How did he know? How did he know?
Shit, he's got Liz and their parents in there tied up, held hostage.
That's exactly
this is gonna be some
what
hostage
I thought.
situation shit. Like, Spider-Man's gonna have to save 3 people and fight the Vulture.
That's exactly what I thought.
I was like, this is gonna get intense.
I was like, how did he know? How did he figure it out? I thought that was about to be the next scene. Like, plot twist, he figured it out. And then it was like, no. He's like, Liz.
And he's like, yo, come on in. He's like, come on in. Peter Parker, of course, is freaking out. And Tom Holland does a great job of just acting and portraying that I know who you are, but you don't know who I am. Holy shit moment. So, the Vulture invites Spider-Man in unknowingly, and he talks to Parker, the way a girl's dad would. Mm-hmm. It was the perfect. And again, because of the age difference here, it worked well. Had that been some 30-year-old pretending to be a high school kid talking to Michael Keaton, who's like 45, like it wouldn't have been as intimidating as it was. I know, especially for me. I don't know about you, Con, but that was almost like flashbacks for me. I was like, oh shit.
I was feeling it.
Right?
He's 21 years old, by the way. I could not believe when they told me his actual age.
Oh my God.
He's 21. He can drink.
Oh,
but he looks like he's 15 years old. His voice isn't correct, it feels like.
Yeah.
But I'm just loving seeing like Michael Keaton as an older like character coming back. Like since Birdman, he's been like in some really good roles. And just to see him like portray like this crazed like he's doing it all for all the right reasons. He's a working man, he's trying to support his family, trying to get a legacy going. And he's just crazy enough to kill somebody for it. It's like, what do you do in his situation?
It's true.
You've been cheated by the system. It was a masterpiece. It's not a masterpiece, but it's basically it's a comic masterpiece. Coming down from like Garfield to Maguire, it was just like, it was tied together so well. It really tied the room together.
Yeah, it really does. So you pointed out perfectly. It was after Birdman, Michael Keaton came back. He came back strong. I think Birdman was someone giving him a shot, knowing that he had it in him, and him putting it out there. And then after that, did you see The Founder?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen The Founder?
It's the McDonald's. No. It's the McDonald's movie.
It's basically.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't see that yet.
That movie. When I saw that movie, I was like, "Yo, Michael Keaton can be a really good bad guy any day of the week," because he plays Ray Kroc, and he's the guy who basically steals McDonald's from the two brothers that create McDonald's.
From the McDonald's.
And during that whole movie, the way he does it, he's so cunning and fucking sneaky, and he brings a little bit of that here to the Vulture.
I think he did.
Like, you know, he's robbing people. He's taking stuff from the people who are from Damage Control, who are cleaning up the shit from Tony Stark and his people without them knowing. Like, they don't even know. They don't know. He phases the fucking truck, goes in, grabs his shit, flies out. It's over.
God damn it.
On Tony Stark's end, someone fucked up. They lost some shit. Someone's gonna lose their job. Like, that is so fucking cunning. You have a bad guy, by the way, spoiler, this is where it gets a little nerdy. They give you, from the beginning flashback to actual Homecoming, they give you this huge 8 years later. Okay? So that means the Vulture's been doing some sneaky shit for 8 years without anybody fucking noticing. Like, that is fucking awesome. Okay? This isn't a bad guy that just became a bad guy.
Like, level of, like, a bad guy. Like, there's big bad guys that the Avengers don't take care of, and there's a step above police.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Vulture falls in that spot, and that's was portrayed great on screen, because even though the Sam Raimi movies were good, like, I feel like that was a little bit of the flaw for them. It was like, you know, Dr. Octopus wasn't just trying to fuck with Spider-Man in his life, he was trying to fucking blow up New York City with this whole thing. Like, Spider-Man doesn't always have to save New York City for it to be a good story. You know, he doesn't always have to save the world. He just has to save his world. Which I think is something that just came off beautifully in this film. So the girl comes down. She looks gorgeous. Hilarious moment when they're like, let's take pictures. And Peter Parker cannot take his eyes off the Vulture.
I know.
He's sitting there with his date next to him, like, kind of smiling, looking at your date's dad. Like, it was fucking hilarious. So the mom, of course, takes pictures, and then he's like, all right, well, I'll drive you guys there. I got to anyway. I'm going out of town for a job. And of course, Peter Parker's like, you're going out of town for a job, you old dirty bastard. I know what you're going to do. So, they're driving, right? And Peter Parker is in the back seat, sweating. Like, he looks like he has to take a massive shit, and he's just holding it in. Like, this is how good Tom Holland, like, acts. Like, I don't know if he was holding in a massive shit, and that's how he got to portray scared. Like, but holy shit, did he do a good job. He's sitting in the back seat, he's nervous, he's sweating. Liz is going off like, oh yeah, Peter's so great, and he's got this internship with Tony Stark, and he knows Spider-Man. And the Vulture's like, oh yeah, he knows. Oh really? And then there's a red light, and I loved it. I don't know if you guys picked this up, but I'm a cine geek. So the car stops at a red light, right? And Liz talks about how, you know, Parker was there for the elevator at the Washington Monument. And then the Vulture goes, oh, that must have been pretty scary for you, Peter. And then Peter goes, well, I wasn't in the elevator, I was down on the ground. And Michael Keaton's face, right? When he realizes, he like puts everything together. He's like, he's friends with Spider-Man. He's got that Stark internship. You know, he went to the DC trip, but he wasn't in the elevator. But Spider-Man was there. He puts it all together, and he realizes.
And she was talking about how he was at the party. You know what I mean, too, because there was also the appearance of Spider-Man at the party, because that was the night.
Well, he never showed up to the party though.
And that's what she brought up.
Right. So yeah, how he had dipped, how he just left. He was only there for like 3 seconds, but he starts putting all this together. The light is red, and the red light from the signal is on Michael Keaton's face, right? And then the moment he realized, like, the moment it all falls into place, the light turns green Michael Keaton puts this like Grinch-like demonic smile on his face, and it works perfectly on screen. Because that's the moment.
Some shades of Green Goblin in there.
Yeah,
Sam Raimi's Green Goblin.
That was the moment where Michael Keaton or Adrian Toomes went from overprotective dad to psycho fucking criminal. Like, and it happened with the change of a light, which I thought was like, it's like the switch was automatically turned on. It's like the best metaphor was like, yo, this switch just got flipped, and now Michael Keaton isn't the guy that everyone got in the car with. Now he's a completely different fucking person. So they keep on driving. They get to the school. And what does Adrian Toomes do? I'm gonna have a father-boyfriend talk.
Oh yeah.
With your guy here. So go on,
give
princess.
him the talk, you know.
You go on while I give him the talk. And you're like, this isn't the talk. This is gonna be something else. So he goes off on Spider-Man. Fucking tells him, I know who you are now. Cow with the eyes lunas today. He goes off on Spider-Man. Lets him know, I know who you are. Like, what you did for my daughter was great. You saved her life as Spider-Man, and for that I respect you. There's nothing more important to me than family, which is why I do what I do. But if you fucking come across me again, I will fucking hunt you down and everyone you fucking love, and I will kill them. Like, and he didn't yell. He didn't raise his voice. He did it in that
just
calm,
made it a matter of fact.
Yeah, that calm, psychopathic, I'm talking to you. Which he did fantastically well.
That made me think, does Michael Keaton have any daughters around this age? It was a little bit too convincing.
Like,
want to get nuts? We can get nuts.
Right?
I was like,
let's get nuts. I was like, shit. Like, I don't think I ever want to be in a car with Michael Keaton after this scene. You sit at the end of that table, I'll sit at the end of this table. It's some wood between us. No homo. But
No, he did.
But I just that movie, that scene, I think was the greatest part in the movie for me. It wasn't seeing Iron Man and Spider-Man at the same time on screen. It wasn't that there was a young Spider-Man. It wasn't all the tech in the suit. This scene was the best scene in the movie for me. Okay? Like, already this movie was good.
The fight scenes are forgettable. The fight scenes are literally forgettable. Like, the last fight scene that happens is irrelevant. I mean,
well,
it's a fight scene, but...
And it has nothing to do...
It
doesn't have anything to do with the fact that it's a bad scene or that the fights weren't choreographed correctly. It was a great scene. It looked great. Like, it was a good boss fight.
There was just more focus on story than fighting.
Well, everyone just did a fantastic job when it came to masks off. When it was just Adrian Toomes being Adrian Toomes in the workshop with Peter, like, it was a convincing character. When Peter Parker was with his friend Ned Leeds, when he was in school, which I think school was home base for this movie. Mm-hmm. Like, if we didn't see Peter Parker at home or swinging about, we saw him at school on a daily basis. That's something that the other movies haven't really done. Where, he's a kid. He goes to school every fucking day. Why aren't we seeing multiple scenes with him?
Why are we seeing this kid in school?
This kid is never in
school.
This fucking kid's never in
something
school.
we've missed about this movie. One of the things the other movies miss is his sidekick, the guy in the chair.
The guy in the
chair is like my second favorite character in that movie.
Yeah,
he makes the movie for me.
So third for me.
His name though. Third for you.
Ned Leeds. Ned Leeds. He falls third for me because Vulture's number one, and Tom Holland as Peter Parker is number two. Because anyone can be Spider-Man. You throw a fucking mask on any skinny little dude, right? Mm-hmm. He's Spider-Man. His birthday parties have proven over and over again.
It's true.
But as a portrayal of Peter Parker as a young kid who is overconfident, gets cocky. He's like, yeah, I'm fucking Spider-Man. I can be with the Avengers. And then realizing when he's buried under rubble that he's a scared... That moment for me, he was a scared kid under that rubble yelling for help. Like,
and he really yelled I swear it was like my little baby child nephew. A child was like yelling for help,
because he thought he was gonna die.
Exactly.
He wasn't Spider-Man
really
at that moment.
scared.
He was a scared kid that thought he was gonna die. So I think that's why the fight sequences, the CGI sequences, come second, because the acting in this movie is just so fucking spot on. Like, so fucking spot on.
Because we actually saw a person underneath the character. It wasn't just about the Spidey that swings around and he saves the day and he's so cool. Yeah, I'm Spider-Man. Because the intro was awesome. Like, the intro and the way that they set it up, that they really put you, hey, just a reminder, like, where we're picking up and where we're leaving off and everything. That was really great. Especially just the way that he, like, made the videos. He's like, hey, I'm Spider-Man. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Hey, it's just for me. It's for personal use. Hey, Happy, what's up?
Yeah, that was really fun the way they did that.
Super, super cute. But, yeah, to see him, like, as the real person that's actually, like, going through these emotions...
So his best friend, second favorite character for young Khan, Ned Leeds. Ned Leeds.
I am the guy in the chair.
The guy in the chair. Ned Leeds is in Spider-Man. So for anyone who's a Marvel fan or a comic book fan in general, knows that there's usually more than one universe. Be it the DC or the Marvel side, there's always a multiverse, which means there's a lot of different Earths. So we have what we consider the main storylines, which are the storylines that started with Stan Lee. This is the 616 universe, all right? And in the 616 universe, Ned Leeds is a high school friend of Peter Parker's. He later grows up and gets brainwashed and becomes the Hobgoblin. But I don't think this is the role that this character is going to take, and here's why. Because they kind of modeled Ned Leeds in this movie after Genki Lee, who is Miles Morales' best friend. Who's Miles Morales? Miles Morales is the Spider-Man in a different universe, in the Ultimate Universe. So this is separate from the 616. And the actor that they casted to play Ned Leeds looks a lot like the character Genki Lee, and is kind of that kid that knows who Spider-Man is, right? And is his buddy, aside from knowing who he is. Because in the 616 universe, Peter Parker never really told anyone he was Spider-Man. He told Gwen Stacy, but then she died, so bummer. And then he kind of keeps it a secret until Aunt May finds out. He tells Mary Jane, he marries Mary Jane. But for the most part, he keeps it a secret. Where in the Ultimate Universe, Miles Morales is a little more open about who he tells who he is Spider-Man. So I love the way, and I used to hate it, okay? Because I am more about the main storylines than the Ultimate, okay? Like, when it comes to comics, I will devour the 616 stuff, but the Ultimate Universe for me isn't as awesome, okay? They do things very different, and maybe it's because I'm old school and I don't like that change, but they do things very differently. And it's just not as fun for me. But here in the movie universe, they've done a great job of mixing stuff from the Ultimate and the 616. And this is a perfect example of it. So not only this, but a lot of the stuff, for example, Matt Gargan, all right, the Scorpion. In the 616 universe, he's a reporter that J. Jonah Jameson hires to follow Spider-Man to find out who Spider-Man is. Because he's such a bad person at following other people, J. Jonah Jameson's like, you know what, you suck at this job. Why don't I just pay you to do some crazy experiment and get superpowers? This way you'll have a better chance of actually following Spider-Man and finding out who he is. So Matt Gargan's like, all right, I'll take your money and I'll inject myself with whatever crazy shit you want to. And he becomes the fucking Scorpion. Now, in the Ultimate Universe, Matt Gargan is a tatted up Mexican who becomes the Scorpion, which is what we get in the movie. All right, we obviously don't have J. Jonah Jameson, so we get the ultimate Scorpion, even though we have, you know, a lot of things from the 616 universe. So the Marvel universe, it's its own thing. Let me tell you right now, it's its own thing, baby. You got to think of it as the 616 Ultimate and the Cinematic. That's what you got to do, because as much as I love Guardians of the Galaxy 2, for me, I'm sorry, Ego the Living Planet is not Star-Lord's dad. Jason of the Spartoy Empire is Star-Lord's dad.
I know, that shit fucked me up so hard.
Okay? For me...
Shit fucked me up.
And this is something we're going to talk about later. But for me, the Black Order is a group of people that Thanos put together because of their special abilities, kind of like the Avengers. But in the movie universe, the Black Order is made up of Thanos' children. That won't be the fact for me. I'll accept it in the movie universe. It looks cool. I'm compromising. I'm glad that these characters that I love so much are coming to life and look good on screen, and the stories are actually good. Even though it's being mixed up a little, okay? It's like a little too much salt. There's a little too much salt in this cornbread. I'm not used to this kind of cornbread, but it's not some bad cornbread. I'm gonna fucking have this cornbread.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what it's like. It's like, this isn't the apple pie that my mom makes, but this is some fucking apple pie, so I'm gonna eat it. So this is just the way I see it. And again, they do a good job where they don't really piss anyone off. They didn't do Uncle Ben for this one, which I thought was a really smart move.
Because we've seen him die?
We've seen that too many times.
Yeah, it's something Zack Snyder should learn with showing the death of Batman's parents over and over again.
It's true.
It's just like, we know what's going to happen. We know the lesson he's learned. Please, 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 you beat this horse to death.
Mm-hmm.
They learned a lesson from that. That's something
great.
that I think more directors should learn about superhero movies.
It's true.
It's a reboot. It's we've seen it, okay?
We've
we all know.
We know.
If we're going to see the movie, we all know.
It's true. We've seen the last one.
I know, for a hot second I forgot where we were taking, where this movie was going to pick up from. And for a hot second I was mentally preparing myself for the same thing over and over again, and then you forget. You're like, yes, I don't have to go through this.
He was introduced in Civil War. We're picking up months after Civil War.
Picking up. I was like, yes, we've already established this. We already know. Thank you.
It also sets a different tone for Peter Parker / Spider-Man, right? Because Uncle Ben happened before Civil War, Spider-Man isn't as depressed as he is as I just recently lost my uncle. It's been maybe close to a year, so he's had time to, I don't want to say get over it, but process his feelings. To where he is the fun-loving, quippy Spider-Man, right? And he's not just like, oh, I just lost my uncle. With great power comes responsibility, so I need to do shit right all the time. I hope they bring back Uncle Ben, maybe in the second one. I don't want a full out flashback of him dying. Maybe I want Spider-Man in a tough spot, and then I want to hear Uncle Ben in his voice, almost some Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke Skywalker shit, with great power comes with great responsibility. Use the Force, Luke. That type of shit, right? So that's what I want to see. Especially now with spoilers, guys, because we said there's going to be spoilers. Especially with Tony Stark. At the end of that movie, Tony Stark gives him the new suit that he turns down. Peter Parker turns it down. But he gives him the new suit that's very reminiscent of the Iron Spider. The Iron Spider suit is from Civil War in the comics, because when the registration happens and you either register with the government and everyone knows what your real name is and your superhero name is, or you don't and you're a war criminal, Peter Parker decides to register. And there's a big press conference, and he unmasks in front of cameras and news and everyone, and he says, I've been Spider-Man since I was 15. I am Spider-Man. So they kind of hinted at that towards the end of the movie, where Tony Stark was like, I've got all these people waiting, a big press conference to tell everyone about the new Avenger. And he had the suit and everything. Like, this is something from the 616 universe that works great. And then what does he do? He turns it down.
Takes a left turn.
Yeah. I thought that was great. I was like, yes, it's not time. He knows it's not time. We know it's not time. It's like killing Superman too soon. It's not time.
I gotta say that Kevin Feige and the directors behind the universe are like amazing at their jobs.
Do you know why? Because they all sit down.
These like characters together, it's amazing.
Because they all sit down and they have a big board. They have a wall and they go, all right, that goes there, and we want to do this, but it doesn't line up. So let's do something here. Or let's change this and let's make this work, so it all fucking works.
The
all right,
it's a universe. It's a universe. It needs to fit.
It needs to fit.
I don't want all these holes and all these what happened.
So, end of the movie, they hint towards that, but he turns it down. It's like, I just want to be that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. It works.
Yeah, it sets us up for more.
It does. And even though, yes, he's most likely going to don that new costume that he turned down in Infinity War to go out in space and fight Thanos, the fact that he turned it down, like, it says something about his character. It says something about Peter Parker realizing where he fits in not only, like, the Avengers universe, but in the world itself. So, you know, I
think they're also setting us up for the character that we know Peter Parker will become, who he's going to be, just like you're saying, not as Spider-Man, but as Peter Parker.
They've got a lot of, now that I know that they've done this right, they've done high school Peter Parker right, there's so much that they can do. Because you can do college Spider-Man, you can do college Spider-Man right, you could do college Peter Parker, you could do moving out Peter Parker, you could do getting married Peter Parker. Because these are all phases of Peter Parker's life that are what.
And that's why I got sad at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That's why I got sad, because Sony's going to get their hands back on it, and they won't see him in college probably. Not done well anyway.
Not done well. But I just...
Maybe someone will really understand that this was a very smart move, and you know they want to keep making that Marvel Disney money. I mean, you know,
Disney just buy
it. Like you were saying
Disney
earlier.
should just buy Sony.
Well, God.
Yeah, they definitely have the money.
Could, I know.
I think they should. They should put that in there.
Only they could.
Guys,
but no, maybe other Sony movies will do poorly. And that will dictate
Venom
exactly. That'll dictate.
Venom needs to tank. The Easter eggs, guys. We were talking about the spider suit. We were talking about the ultimate Easter eggs. Let's talk about some other Easter eggs because, of course, they introduce the Prowler. All right, Donald Glover. All right, which is great. And when Spider-Man pulls him up on the Shield dossier, it names him as the Prowler, and it gives Spider-Man everything that he needs to know about him. You know, known associates. Aaron Davis. So you learn about Aaron Davis, and when he was buying that tech, because he was originally, the way Spider-Man ran him into the movie is he was buying tech from the Vultures dudes, right? He was buying that illegal Shatari shit. We don't know if he was going to buy it for bad reasons or if he was going to buy it for good reasons. Because later on in the movie, when Spider-Man runs into him, he wants to get all this shit off the streets. So do you guys want to know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking he was buying that tech to make his Prowler costume. I think Donald Glover can easily be the Prowler. Like, we can see a Prowler solo movie now that the Prowler has been introduced. He can be, guys, as badass as the Black Panther.
Zone C secure.
It's a tall order.
That is a tall order.
It is.
But Donald Glover, we know, is a really good actor. Not only can he do comedy, he can do, like, serious stuff. All right? He can do drama. He can do it all very well.
He's in the Han Solo movie.
He's Lando fucking Calrissian. So why wouldn't you have this... Let's just say it. He's going to be an A-list actor after that. Why not have this A-list actor already set up to be his own solo movie? His own solo hero. I'm telling you guys, the Prowler was set up here. I think he was buying that tech because he was making his Prowler suit. He tells Spider-Man when Spider-Man confronts him, like, yo, I've got a nephew, like, who's out on these streets. These people are buying illegal, you know, Shatari weapons. They're blowing up corner stores and shit. Like, it's bad. I'm trying to do something about it. So not only do you get a big Donald Glover could possibly be the Prowler, Aaron Davis has a nephew. Who's Aaron Davis's nephew? Miles Morales. Miles Morales is that other Spider-Man that we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you remember the Donald Glover Black Spider-Man campaign?
Yeah, they wanted him to be.
That's the second part of that Easter egg.
Yeah, they wanted him to be Miles Morales for the Spider-Man movie. But Peter Parker. But because Disney didn't want to do another origin story, Miles Morales would have had... Like, you can't do a Miles Morales Spider-Man the way you did the Peter Parker introducing him. You have to tell a backstory for Miles Morales because people haven't seen it 5 fucking times already. Like, yes, he's a kid that got, you know, bitten by a radioactive spider, but his uncle didn't die. He didn't live with his aunt and his uncle. He wasn't, you know, abandoned by his parents. A completely different backstory. So you can't do Miles Morales the way you just did Peter Parker. You need an origin for him. But you do a great job of setting up Miles Morales in the Marvel Universe. So 10 years down the line, when Tom Holland is done being Spider-Man, and like Wolverine, we don't want to see anyone else in that role. Because nobody wants to see anyone other than Hugh Jackman play Wolverine.
Sadly.
So no one's going to want to see anyone else play Peter Parker after Tom Holland. So what do? There's another Spider-Man that isn't Peter Parker that we can set up right now and cast later as a different person, and it's not going to create an issue with the fan base. Like, that was great. That was fucking smart. That was fantastic. I also think that's why they're not giving Anthony Mackie, the Falcon. He doesn't get much screen time. You know what? He might not get much screen time because later on, when what's Buttface's name that plays Captain America?
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans. When Chris Evans' contract is up and he doesn't want to be Captain America anymore, they can easily pass it on.
Be Captain America now. That's the thing.
Well, he's signed up for a couple, but yes, it's true. His contract is close to the end.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like he's going to re-sign. But they can easily put Anthony Mackie as Captain America. Because that happens.
That happens, yeah.
Because that happens.
Falcon becomes Captain America, yeah.
And you do
so does Bucky, though, too.
So does Bucky. But I don't know if they might do it with Bucky for like a movie or two, but I don't think Bucky's going to stick to it. Because he's been around as long as Cap, I think that will also be a contract thing, where he might not want to do these anymore. But hey, maybe he does. He signs up for 3 more movies. We get to see him as Captain America for 2, and then for the 3rd one, he passes the mantle over to Anthony Mackie.
I'm not opposed to that.
Like, they're doing a great job, like I said, of not only...
Captain America's already dropping the mantle of Captain America right now. I think that was the ending of Civil War.
We'll talk about
the mantle.
We'll talk about that in a second. You're jumping ahead.
Okay.
You're getting so excited.
I knew it. So much to talk about after D23. But they do this great job where we know we're not going to be around forever. You know, people get old. People don't want to do stuff anymore. People want to do different stuff with their lives. People have kids. People have life changes. So let's plan for this now. I almost feel like Sug's running the fucking Marvel Universe, because Sug is like the only other person that can plan something like this and have it work out. So, you know, it works out great. We talked about the Miles Morales, the second Spider-Man. Guys, there was a lot of 80s movie, like those 80s high school, those John Hughes 80s high school movies, The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller, yeah. Like, that came off a lot during this movie, and I think that's part of the success of this movie, is, you know, Logan was not only a superhero movie, it was also a Western. Right? Spider-Man Homecoming wasn't only a superhero movie, it was also a coming-of-age high school movie.
True.
Yeah, I can. Yep. Okay.
So this movie was done well on so many levels. I think superhero movies are going from a point where they're escalating. They're not only superhero movies anymore. Pretty soon they're going to be like Oscar-winning movies, because it's a superhero movie, but the story's fucking deep and the acting is spot fucking on. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, you know, in 3 years we see an Oscar-winning Marvel movie. Best actor, best screenplay. The way things are going, I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, Michael Keaton and Tom Holland blow it away as far as acting in this movie. Blow it away. The theme, like the clear themes that go on through this, you can use this fucking movie in a film class at a college. You know? It's
some classic elements of like 80s movies. It's coming of age movie. It's a well thought out like villain, like character development. It touches on a lot of things really well.
I think they did really great on costumes. That's always something that I tend to notice and comment on. And I get a little cranky when I start to see movies that their costumes kind of look like other movies. And so I think they did a fun way of kind of making it.
What? You didn't like that RoboCop look like Batman?
You know, I thought that it was a little clever how Spider-Man's kind of make his own costume. They kind of brought it current with the times of kind of what's popular right now.
With the hood? They brought it...
Well, even with the goggles, they kind of have this, you know, a little pop culture steampunk-esque to it. And sometimes I don't like that.
Keep rolling.
Especially I get a little frustrated because, unfortunately, I feel that steampunk is a subculture that tends to be... misrepresented, because unfortunately, you know, people don't completely understand the history of the culture, so then of course it's misrepresented. But I still like that they brought it in a small element. It wasn't overpowering.
It wasn't.
Just the way that you can tell that he made that costume himself. The feet is what geeked me out.
Ninja feet?
So hard. And so it was just cute. But you know what I liked? I liked that he wore it. I liked that the costume got taken from him and he was back to his regular old, not cool,
scrubs.
Just his scrubs. Like, you can tell that a high school boy, you can tell the way that they sewed it. Yes, yeah. Like they didn't sew it the way that someone would have made it with a sewing machine. They made it look like this boy hand stitched it very poorly together. So I was very happy with that. And just the other costumes, Vulture's costume. The way that, you know,
it's just a flight suit.
Exactly. Remember we kind of talked about that at first. We weren't too sure on everything, but the way that they just made it the flight suit, the way that they put the fur collar around the neck, they gave this S to it, but they made him look, you know, not like this animated character.
This guy in a green jumpsuit with fur around his neck.
Like, who would wear that on the regular?
But then
that was
like,
my problem with the original Spider-Man movies. Like, how'd that kid make that suit?
Exactly.
In his living room.
Right?
Exactly.
Aunt May, I'm gonna need you to sew this for me. What is it, Peter? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Just sew it.
Just put it together.
Like that suit having Iron Man like make the suit, that made so much more sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, this is how you got this suit. Okay, great.
So let's talk about it, okay? Because let's talk about this suit. Because two things. One man's trash is another man's treasure. I feel like this Spider-Man movie is literally recycled from the aftermath of every other movie that has happened before it.
Explain.
Explain yourself, Lucy.
Everything as far as Spider-Man's tech, the Vulture's tech, the school that Parker goes to, right? They have the Atom symbol on their gym uniforms.
Yes.
Okay? That's the same Atom symbol that was at the Stark Expo when Tony Stark in Iron Man 2 was digging up some of his old dad stuff. That sphere, the Union sphere that you see when they're driving by in the beginning from those cell phone camera shots, that's the same place where the World's Fair took place in not only Iron Man 2, but in Captain America, the first Avenger, back in like the 1940s. When you're in Peter Parker's high school in the science room, I don't know if you noticed this, Shug, but up on the wall there are pictures of people. There's Einstein, there's Tulsa, there's Bruce Banner.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, in the high school, there's a mural that's painted. You see Erskine, who created the super soldier formula that made Captain America, and you also see Howard Stark on that mural. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised if like this high school, a big like donator to like a wing of the high school or the high school itself was built by like Tony Stark or the Tony Stark Foundation or the Stark Foundation. So, and that's like an afterthought of the Iron Man 2 movie. All the tech, like we talked about, that is used during this movie, every single piece of technology that's used during this movie is left over from either the first Avengers movie, Age of Ultron, or Civil War, or because even the Shocker's Gauntlet is a repurposed Crossbone. Remember Crossbones, who Captain America fought in the beginning of Civil War? That gauntlet was repurposed to make the Shocker's Gauntlet.
So I see what you're saying. It's the universe has history, and you're seeing the relics of the universe, like being like spread out throughout the movies.
Yeah,
which makes perfect sense.
It makes this go together so well. Now you guys know Spider-Man. Some of you grew up with Spider-Man. I know I did. Shug did a lot. How did you feel about the suit? Because later on, he deactivates the training wheels protocol,
which was such a funny scene. That scene was so great.
He's got his own AI, the way Tony does in his head.
Suit lady.
That he later names Karen.
Suit lady, because he couldn't call her Liz. That'd be weird.
So in the comics, it's just a suit. It's just a suit.
Yeah.
He creates his own web shooters, and this is just the original Peter Parker Spider-Man.
Which I'm glad that was actually brought up, and
suit.
Well, it was also made mention. Like Ned was talking to him about it. There was the scenes of him actually making it in school and trying to figure that out. I remember being very frustrated in past movies where he's just all of a sudden in his room and it's like, and I'm like, what? Stop! That's not real.
It comes out of my body.
It comes just right out of my body.
Yeah, he's making web fluid.
And I like the trial and error, how it didn't turn out.
In chemistry class,
yes.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm just gonna hide it in drawer.
I'm
just gonna hide this.
Exploding. I was like, oh man, this is funny.
And when he takes the Chitauri tech that he finds on the Vulture, he takes it back to shop class in high school to take it apart.
Oh yeah, that was really great. The teacher.
So
be careful. Be careful.
I had no problem with this. I had no problem with the suit having an AI. Or having which was funny, which is a nice little Easter egg, was like, there's like 453 combinations of web shooters. Which would you like?
Oh my god, yes.
I was like, that's funny, because in the comics they just do it, right? In the comics he's either shooting a web ball when he needs to, or he's shooting a line when he needs to, or if he needs a net, he's shooting a net. But they don't really explain how he's doing it. Whether, I got kicked. Whether he's, because I'm doing flipping hand motions everywhere. They don't really explain whether he moves his fingers differently or there's an amount of pressure that goes onto the web shooters to create that certain web that he's looking for. So, they do a great job of it in the movie of like this is why he has so many options for web shooters, because Tony Stark built in fucking electric webs into his fucking suit.
Yeah. Him dealing with... Just pick one! Just pick one! You told me to pick one!
You told me to pick one. Well, shit. It's regular. Give me regular.
He was like, fucking put it
Right, it's like when you go to Starbucks. It's like...
It's true, you're like, default!
Do you want this whip, venti, super latte? Like,
I just want the original
give me fucking
one.
coffee. I just want coffee.
I just want what I had before.
Like, that was a
I think
perfect
that added
feeling.
some much needed comedy to the movie.
It
like,
did.
The intimidation mode and stuff. I think that was well done.
Intimidation mode. Insta-kill.
Yes!
That was funny. Activating insta-kill. What? No. Let's turn that shit off.
You're very unfamiliar with your settings.
I know, right? It's like, yeah. Would you like a refresher course?
I don't know, Glover. You need to get better at this part of the job.
Right? So, you know, the suit worked for me also in the fact that when you're reading Spider-Man comics, Spider-Man talks to himself a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really do that. Andrew Garfield tried doing that in The Amazing Spider-Man, and he just came off like an asshole. So you can't really do that on screen. But if you have an AI in Spider-Man's head talking to him to where he's verbally responding to the bad guy, it just sounds like he's talking to himself.
And it makes
but
sense.
he's talking to someone in his suit. It makes sense. It's like the eyes. It's like the trademark Spider-Man eyes. Before they were just solid and open because we didn't have the technology to change it. But now with Deadpool, after Deadpool, we're able to like close and express emotions with those Spider-Man eyes. And how do we bring it justice and make it accordingly? It's technology. It's Tony Stark technology.
It's like, duh,
In the comic books, the eyes showed emotion.
Yeah, right. Because
they squinted and they popped up when he had a spider sense going on.
Because that's the way the artist showed emotion for the character in the suit.
Yeah.
But if you were to do that in real life without any high-tech explanation, if he just did it because, it wouldn't work on screen. You'd be like, oh, you know, it's like, oh, okay, yeah. You know, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, I like that everything had a reason and had a purpose. Yes, everything might not match up 100%, but in this universe, in this world, it makes sense. It has a purpose, like everything. And that's a big thing that I feel, it's okay when something doesn't match 100%, but as long as you can explain it, like, oh, okay, I get it, and I like that. I don't like holes. I don't like being like, whoa.
Yeah, explained appropriately, which is like great. It like not only did you explain it, but it works.
Everything just makes sense.
You didn't just fucking spackle over it and go, here you go, I just fixed this hole for you. Like, it works. You painted it, you did it, it looks beautiful.
And
did you like this con? Did you like this suit more than just a regular Spider-Man suit? We've seen regular Spider-Man suits in the other films where he doesn't have an AI, he doesn't have all this other shit.
I think as a story device, it served a good purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't like turned off by it that it was like, you know, mostly tech. I think it served like a bit of comedy, a bit of like
definitely was comedy.
Like, yeah, as a story device, it worked really well. Like, I like that part.
So for me, it worked for two reasons. One, I've read Spider-Man up until maybe 3 years ago. And there's a point in Spider-Man's life where Dr. Octopus is getting old and he's dying, his body is failing him, and he's in prison, and he asks for Spider-Man. Not only does he ask for Spider-Man, he asks for Peter Parker. So Captain America goes, he gets Peter Parker, he brings him to Dr. Octopus. Peter Parker and Doc Ock are having a conversation, and Doc Ock tells him, you know what? You're gonna die, Peter. And Peter's like, what are you talking about? He's like, you're gonna die, and I'm gonna live on as Spider-Man. And what Doc Ock does is he swaps consciousness where he is in Peter Parker's body and Peter Parker is in Doc Ock's dying body. Doc Ock walks out with Captain America in Spider-Man's body. and then Peter Parker is left
in this dying body.
And then he breaks out of the raft.
Fucked up shit.
He breaks out of prison as Doc Ock, and he tries to get back. He tries to get his body back, but he fails and dies. Peter Parker dies as Otto Octavius.
Spoiler.
Otto Octavius lives on in Peter Parker's body as the superior Spider-Man. He is making it a point to, I'm going to be a better Spider-Man than Peter Parker was. I am smarter than Peter Parker. I have more of a know-how than Peter Parker. So he starts doing basically what Tony Stark did to Spider-Man's suit in this movie. He starts teching out his Spider-Man suit. He has an army of little robot spiders that patrol the city. That way, he knows whether this building is on fire or not. These people need help, or if the Hobgoblin is in this certain area, he's got an army of robot spiders looking out for him. It's literally his eyes. He also has these really cool. They did it for the Iron Spider. These really cool, like, mechanical spider legs that come out of the back. He put all this tech into the Spider-Man suit, and he was. I enjoyed the Superior Spider-Man run. I thought Doc Ock did a better job than Peter Parker of being Spider-Man, like juggling his work life, his Spider-Man life, his relationship. Doc Ock was a better Spider-Man than Peter Parker. Let me tell you right now. I absolutely loved that run, and hands down, by far, my favorite Spider-Man is the Superior Spider-Man, Doc Ock. So the fact that this came to the movie, I thought was great. Like, I'm not
that's
for
a storyline I didn't know about.
I'm not. Yeah, that's great. Which I'm not foreign to a high-tech Spidey suit. That's not a foreign concept to me. For some people, I'm sure it was. They were like, "Oh, I don't know how I feel about this," but I'm like, "Yo, I've seen it done before, and this is done well." So not only has that like helped a lot in the comics, dude. Like I said, Tony Stark builds a suit for Spider-Man, the Iron Spider, and it's all high tech. And the way in the movie, Spider-Man gets into the fight with the Vulture, he gets dropped into the river. He's all cold and wet. And then Tony Stark shows up, and using his Iron Man suit, he activates Spider-Man's like heating suit, like from his suit, as like, you know, and he's able to like deactivate. He's able to work Spider-Man's suit from his suit, so he's basically like he knows what Spider-Man's doing. He knows if he wanted to shut down Parker's suit, he could. Like he definitely could. And that's something that happened actually in the comics, because Peter Parker decided that, you know what, this isn't what I want to do. I didn't want to. Turns out, you know, I don't think we should register as superheroes. I'm going to side with Captain America. Him and Iron Man get into a fight. Iron Man shuts off the suit that Peter Parker is wearing, and Peter Parker is left like a fucking ragdoll on the floor. So this Spidey tech isn't new to me. I'm used to it, and I think that's why I was able to embrace it more during this movie. Like I said, they're mixing a little bit of everything, and it works. It fucking works. So I'm not mad. And little spoiler for you guys. The lady that did the voice for Spider-Man's suit, she is married to the Vision.
Okay.
In real life?
Yeah, in real life. Which is the voice to Iron Man's AI suit back in the old Iron Man movie.
Jarvis.
Before he was Jarvis before the. So Karen and Jarvis are married. They're both AIs. That's funny. So a little Easter egg there. But this movie, I can't say enough good things about this movie. Like, I want to go see this movie again just because it's so fucking good. I think this movie is going to be the Spider-Man movie that I see the most.
Yeah, I cannot wait for the.
Even though it did
movie.
get knocked down to second place this weekend.
Did it really? Planet of the Apes #1.
Planet of the Apes #1.
Jesus Christ.
I called it.
Last thing here, guys, before we move on, is there's tons of Spider-Man shit to talk about. I'm not even gonna. There's so much. Like, there's so much. The Avengers Tower. They like this whole movie. Jon Favreau, which I'm sure he's ecstatic that he casted himself as Happy Hogan all those years ago in the first Iron Man movie. It's like the gift that keeps on giving, because Disney keeps calling him back to play Happy Hogan. It's like, hey, free paycheck that I kind of set up for myself.
Yeah, yep.
So, Jon Favreau does a great... And when he casted himself as Happy Hogan, I was like, this is perfect. He's a perfect Happy. And he has been so far.
Yeah.
He's such a great character. In this movie, he's asset management. He's gotten a promotion. Asset management, I don't know about you guys, but when I heard that, Happy wants to be asset management, I thought that's more than just Spider-Man. He's probably like managing other superheroes. And this whole movie, they're like moving stuff from the old Avengers Tower, because of course they moved to upstate New York. So they're moving all that stuff from the old tower to the new facility. When this
Where is the new facility in upstate New York?
They didn't tell us.
They didn't really specify. No address. You can't Google it yet. So what they did?
We heard it's by Hugo.
Yeah, we heard it.
Nice.
Somewhere near Lake Champlain, I think.
Taxes are going up.
So yeah, your property value guy is going to shoot up. Better watch out. There's going to be a lot of shit falling out of the sky near you. So once the Avengers Tower is vacant and that tower is up for sale, they can do one of two things, guys. Are you guys ready? They can either A, Spider-Man 2 Oscorp buys the building and it becomes the Oscorp building, making way for the Green Goblin and Norman Osborn. Or 2, Disney buys back the rights to the Fantastic Four and the old Avengers Tower gets bought out and turned into the Baxter Building.
Thank God you didn't say Trump Tower.
Fantastic Four is probably selling at a very low price right now.
I'm
pretty sure they can snag it.
It's expired. We might be able to get it on sale. Expired meat. We'll season it. We'll make it good. So yeah, guys. In this movie, the Avengers Tower is going to be vacant, so someone can move in. And one of these two people, I think, is going to move in. If they can't get the rights to the Fantastic Four and make it the Baxter Building, I wouldn't be surprised if they make that Oscorp. But Norman Osborn bought that, and then they bring him in as character. Like, I would not be surprised.
That'd be the third Goblin, though. That's a little intense.
That is a little intense, but if they do it right, man, like, I'm not even gonna lie, like, because
I think they need to put the Goblin on the shelf a little while longer, or either bring in a different Goblin, like bring in the Hobgoblin.
Okay, the Hobgoblin would be nice, but here's why I think Norman Osborn works in this universe. Because
well, I think the Hobgoblin work even better because they're going to Guardians of the Galaxy. They're going to that planet. The Hobgoblin's like around there, isn't he? Well, but for Planet Hulk, that whole that whole part of the universe.
No, definitely not.
Or am I wrong?
You're wrong.
No?
Yeah, no.
Oh, I've been wrong before. It's okay.
Okay.
So here's why I think that Norman Osborn works. Okay, you don't have to debut him as the Green Goblin. Okay, here's why. Why, Soop? Here's why.
Why, Soop?
So in the comics, Norman Osborn, once Captain America and Tony Stark become, after Civil War, they kind of become enemies of the state. Okay, so nobody wants to deal with Tony Stark and his bullshit company, and no one wants to deal with Captain America. Captain America's kind of dead, but no one wants to deal with that shit. Okay, so what do? They turn to Norman Osborn. Norman Osborn becomes, okay, the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. He then changes S.H.I.E.L.D. to Hammer, and he takes over not only Tony Stark's technology, but Captain America's colors. And Norman Osborn in the comics is the first one to be introduced as the Iron Patriot.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
I did not know that either. In school today.
You are, son. So Norman Osborn, Tony Stark, I think he had an accident and he's like brain damaged, so he's in a coma. And Norman Osborn comes in and takes a couple of his Iron Man suits, some of his technology. He becomes the Iron Patriot. He's head of S.H.I.E.L.D. He renames it Hammer. He makes his own Avengers team. The government is kissing his ass. The president loves him. So in this universe where everything is set, you know, because of Tony Stark and the events of the Avengers, it is very possible for Norman Osborn to be introduced with this big company, have some of that, you know, he comes across an Iron Man suit. Because what did the Vulture do? He brought down a plane of a whole bunch of Stark equipment. You're going to tell me something didn't fly out of that plane while it was like going over New York and land in a river somewhere? A crate with an Iron Man suit or an Iron Man helmet that could be backwards refurbished? Who has almost as much money as Tony Stark and the Stark Company? Like, it's totally possible here. And you can do... What do you think is going to happen after, like, Infinity War? Like, Tony Stark has made it his purpose of not only keeping superheroes in line, but cleaning up after disasters. I think there's potential for a lot of other people to side with Adrian Toomes of... Yo, you guys are just these big companies making a mess and then paying yourselves to clean it up. I think a lot of people will want to, like, you know what? We don't want Tony Stark and his damage control to do this anymore. We don't want Tony Stark anymore. We don't want any Stark technology. We don't want any of that shit. We want Oscorp. We want Oscorp to come in here and clean this up. We want Oscorp to do this. It's there. It's there.
That's a clear-cut way to make it happen. I can see that happening.
It's there. You know? What has Tony Stark done for us lately? Oh, he brought this big purple guy from fucking space, and he tore up half of New York. Let's go with Oscorp.
Again.
Norman Osborn sounds like a better guy than Tony Stark at this point.
He's had a bad run.
Right? It's there. It's all there. It's all being laid out perfectly like Lego blocks. They all connect beautifully. There's a chance for the Marvel Universe to redeem themselves. Because I was really mad when they made Rhodey the Iron Patriot. I was like, no, you can't do that. He's War Machine. He's always been War Machine. You can't make him the Iron Patriot. Iron Patriot's a bad guy. Rhodey's a good guy. So now they have a chance to correct that. Like, it's beautiful. Technically, the government owns the Iron Patriot suit. So,
yeah.
You know, Oscorp can easily buy a government contract, son. Like... Let's get that out of the way. Like, ooh, I want. Like, I've talked about it so much. I've had myself up. I'm like, ready. Do it. Why aren't you doing it?
I can see how it could happen, but I think there's Green Goblin fatigue.
Like I said, if he doesn't have to debut as the Green Goblin. He debuts as Iron Patriot
as a corporation, and they go a different way. Yes. That is definitely something that can see happening.
He makes his own Avengers, and then the whole movie is about Norman Osborn doing some sneaky evil shit on the low key while being buddy-buddy with the president and the U.S. government, and then the actual Avengers have to, like, come in and take down his Avengers and his shit. And then he goes away to prison. He comes back later on, 4 movies down the line, as the Green Goblin. And then, boom! The Green Goblin, all of a sudden, is a much more interesting character. Because before he went up against not only Spider-Man, but the Avengers. And he has a pretty good track history. Like, you know...
Why aren't you writing?
No one wants to give me a job. Bungie should give me a job. Marvel should give me a job. I've been over this. But, like, it's there. It's there. Set it up. I love it. It's there. Thank you. That's a freebie for you, Disney. Take it. Kevin Feige, take it. That's a freebie. Call me when you need something else.
Next one's gonna cost you.
Yeah, next one's gonna cost
you. That's a gimme.
But it's all there. It's all there. It's all beautiful, guys. Spider-Man was great. It sets up the future. It does the past perfectly. Spider-Man, go see it. If you haven't seen Spider-Man and you want to go see Planet of the Apes this weekend, don't. Fuck the apes.
Wow.
I'm sure.
Go fucking see Spider-Man Homecoming. Go see it. It's the
Or
acting
go see
is,
Planet of the
No,
Apes.
don't waste
If
your time
You've already
with that.
seen Spider-Man.
Go see
What do you
Spider-Man
don't waste your
again.
time? It's #1 right now.
Yeah, it's #1 right now. You know. So we're '80s one-hit wonders.
I really like the movies, the ape movies. They've been really good so far.
Yeah, I like the
I
ape
know.
movies too,
Like,
but right now,
Caesar's like one of my
backseat.
heroes
I'm
now.
sorry. I know.
I've already seen the movie. I can double down later on.
Ow! You've
There
already
you
seen
go.
Planet of the
See,
Apes?
There you go.
No,
Hell yeah,
no,
go
it's
see
Spider-Man
it.
Oh,
already.
okay, Spider-Man. Okay, yeah. No, I was like, because
See Spider-Man first, for sure.
Okay. Okay, sounds good.
But if you've seen it, go check out some ape action. It's supposed to be really good.
Cool. I don't know.
Hot
I'll see.
ape on ape action.
I might catch that ape on ape action next week, or human on ape action next week. I don't know, because today is just gonna be all about. If I were to do it, I would probably do it on $5 Movie Tuesday. So, and then I'm just gonna be all about beta this week. So maybe next week, maybe apes.
All
next week.
about that beta. All about
So-
that beta.
The last nerdy thing, and it's super fucking nerdy, guys. The last nerdy thing I want to cover about Spider-Man Homecoming is that that 8 years that we get 8 years later between the first Avengers movie and Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, this timeline has become a problem for some people, including myself a little bit. Okay? Because the first Avengers, the Battle of New York, is supposed to have taken place in 2012. No, take it back, 2010. Now, this is based on dates from Iron Man 3. Because in Iron Man 3, it's Christmas 2012. How do you know it's Christmas 2012, Soop? Well, because they do that flashback in the beginning of the movie for New Year's Eve. Alright? So if you do a flashback of New Year's Eve and then go 4 years later, you know that it's 2012. So if the Avengers took place during that time, then that would make Spider-Man Homecoming, right? 8 years later, it gives it that 2020 marker, right? When it's supposed to be in current date, 2017.
I see what you're saying.
Zone A lost.
Not only that, Happy kind of ruins it. At the end of the movie, there's the wedding ring,
goodness,
the engagement
yes.
ring that he pulls out of his pocket, and he says, "I've been holding on to this since 2008." When the original Iron Man movie, the first one, was set in 2010.
Yeah, but it released in 2008. Yeah, I see.
Ah.
It released in 2008, but they said it was 2010.
So,
Yeah, that could be problematic. I mean,
oh, hold up. Here's another thing.
you can have that same problem with like Star Wars, though.
It's true.
Like,
we're not.
dates are.
Hold on, we're
Hold
not
on,
done
because
yet.
it may not necessarily be a problem, son. I'm not done. Listen,
He still got it.
he still got it. So
Zone A.
they've officially announced that the little kid in Iron Man 2. Do you guys remember that scene in Iron Man 2 where it's the last fight? Whiplash takes control of the self bots, the self Iron Man suits that walk by themselves and shit. And he's attacking the Stark Expo. And there's a little kid in an Iron Man mask with the Iron Man gauntlet.
I've heard this.
And he
I've heard
holds up
this,
the
yeah.
hand, and then Iron Man comes down and saves him. So Tom Holland and Kevin Feige have come out and said that little kid in Iron Man 2, that is Peter Parker.
Yes.
That's Peter Parker.
Wow.
Peter Parker, at the age of 8, 7, went to the Stark Expo.
Mind blown.
Mind blown. Went to the Stark Expo, And that's where his like fascination with like the Avengers and everything came from. So of course you're a kid that lives in New York, in Queens, New York. You're gonna go to the Stark Expo because it's something free that your family's gonna take you to. You know, you grow up, you hear about superheroes. So he's 15 now. So you take the year, right? You take that year and the age he's supposed to be, and then the age he is now, and it doesn't really line up. Doesn't really line up, okay? Because in order for this to work, that kid in Iron Man 2 would have to be like 10.
Yeah, he looked much younger than 10.
Right? He looked like 6 or 7.
Yeah, 6 or 7.
Maybe he was just small for his age.
So you're like, Soop, all this continuity, you're a fucking nerd. It doesn't matter, okay? The movies look good, they kind of fall in line, it doesn't matter.
Well,
all right, you stupid piece of shit, shut up.
Letting you go.
Think about this, okay? Back in Doctor Strange, I don't know if you saw Doctor Strange, okay?
Good movie.
But but at the end of Doctor Strange, the Eye of Agamotto held the Time Stone. And Doctor Strange, physically, at the end of the movie, to fight the boss, he kept turning time back over and over again. What if this time shift, right? Because the Marvel timeline is fucked up.
Time shift.
What if the timeline is fucked up because of events that happened in Doctor Strange? Doctor Strange fucked with the timeline, so now the Marvel timeline is a little wonky. Oh.
That's it. I need a cigarette right now.
Out of here.
I've been rode hard and put away wet.
Wouldn't that be fantastic if, like, the events that happened in Doctor Strange, because he kept turning back time. He turned back time. He must have done it like 25, 30 times.
Yeah, he looped it hard.
Yeah.
So you're going to tell me...
a lot longer than that.
You're going to tell me there were no consequences to this?
Exactly, there's always
There wasn't a ripple in time somewhere?
Like, you're always going to break time.
30 times.
Yeah. So...
It might have been 30,000 times.
Exactly, and somewhere in there, a timeline is going to break. Like, you're going to rip time.
Somewhere, something happened later than it was supposed. Maybe Peter Parker got bitten by the spider later than he was intended to originally because Doctor Strange shifted time back.
I could see that.
Maybe
That's
Peter
possible.
Parker wasn't supposed to be at the Stark Expo, but because Doctor Strange shifted back time so much, he is now that kid in that scene where he wasn't before.
Show me you can take ground.
Damn.
Okay,
You thought long and hard on this one.
Yo, I'm telling you guys, like, I saw this movie, and this is funny. Sugah was like, me and the kid were in the car, and she was like, how'd you guys like the movie? And the kid went on about his favorite scene and all this other stuff, and I was just kind of quiet. In my head, I was like fucking Russell Crowe in A Beautiful Mind. I was like doing long division and shit. I was like, well, this goes here, that goes, well, then this must mean, well, then we did this before, not subtract the 2, carry the 1. Holy shit. So, like, this movie did so much more for me than I think any other Marvel movie has done.
It did.
Well, it connected a lot of things that weren't necessarily connected before are now. Things are falling into place exactly like they should.
So, like I said, like, technically the time gap between the first Avengers movie and Spider-Man Homecoming is only supposed to be 4 years. But it's 8. So, I think this is all because of Doctor Strange. Like, I think it's all After Effect, dude. Like, and if Marvel, if you don't use that, then you're dropping the ball.
I mean, Jesus
They need to call 1-800-Soopkichen right
Because
now.
automatically, you've like, all the nerds that were like, this doesn't line up. This Spider-Man should technically be 8 years old, and he's 17, and he's 15, but he's not supposed to be 15. And the radioactive spider technically bit him when he was 13, so he's been Spider-Man for 2 years now. Like,
You sound like that geek.
You should see his face right now.
I wish I could.
You automatically
too.
shut every nerd up when you're like, yo, the timeline's fucked up because did you not remember when Doctor Strange fucked with time in the last movie? This is why time is fucked up. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm real sorry.
I'm sorry.
They adjust their pencil pocket
Right?
protectors.
Well,
oh, right.
I didn't plan for this equation. Like, it fucking works. So, Marvel, keep doing what you're doing. I'm not mad at you. Disney probably isn't mad at you. No one's salty. You
Disney,
find a way to correct
Disney,
the saltiness.
If you're listening, buy Sony.
buy Sony. Disney, buy Sony
Make
now.
this shit happen.
Make it happen.
Zone B neutralized.
Guys, we're going to go on to our last bit of Moon. We run extremely long, but this is such a good episode. But we're running so long.
The
Spider-Man. Yeah, it
The
is.
Spider-Man. But we're about to talk about Avengers Infinity War because there was a trailer at the D23. There was also a Star Wars trailer, but we're not even going to touch the Star Wars trailer. We're going to fuck Star Wars later. And
We're
then
gonna have to talk about it
who?
next week.
yeah, Star Wars who? No, it's all about Marvel right now.
Yeah.
So D23, like I said, the Disney Expo happened, and they showed off. Well, first of all, they showed off some statues. All right, they had some statues in the lobby, all nice and lined up. They unveiled the first one. They took off the cloth, and who was it? It's Thanos, looking sexy with those fucking purple biceps. He looks like he's been working out with Khan. He looks fucking shredded. And then the other 4 statues behind him are still covered, and they stay covered up until Saturday when they uncover them, and they show off Thanos'
For 1 hour.
Black Order. Yeah, for 1 hour. They show off Thanos' Black Order. Soop, who the fuck is the Black Order? This is kind of like Thanos' Avengers, okay? It's a group of baddies that Thanos put together as his henchmen. They were... So, in the comics, it's Ebony Maw,
Zone A.
Black Dwarf.
Black.
Yeah, Black Dwarf. He kind of he's like a mix of Abomination and the Hulk.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun to watch him fight the
I've heard
Hulk.
that name in a long time.
Proxima Midnight, Corvus Glaive, and Supergiant, which actually wasn't featured. She wasn't one of the statues. So I wonder if they're not going to do Supergiant, or if maybe they're going to reveal her later in the movie. But the ones they showed were Cornelius Grave,
Zone B.
Black Dwarf, Ebony Maw, and Proxima Midnight. Now, when they displayed them, when they showed them off, when they unveiled them, they were like, now introducing the children of Thanos.
Enemy captured.
And then they unveiled them, and then they showed them off. They showed off the Black Order. This is where I like have a little bit of a problem with it, okay? This is the same issue I had with Ego the Living Planet being Star-Lord's dad, okay?
Zone A neutralized.
In the comics, the Black Order is not Thanos' children. They're just people, aliens, that Thanos put together. The specific reason he put this group together, okay, was to find
Zone A.
the last of his offspring to kill. Thanos, okay, in his young life, so Thanos of Titan, he grew up, and because of a genetic disposition, he grew up purple,
C neutralized.
okay? He was picked on in school. He actually grew up like a little...
Good visual.
Yeah, I know. He was a little disassociated from his feelings and whatnot. When he was born, his mother tried to fucking kill him. Okay? Like pop the baby out, let me see my baby. Holy shit, this baby is fucked up. Let's kill it.
Enemy captured Zone
And then from that moment
Like you
on, yeah, like she knew this motherfucker. She knew. And then she was considered mentally insane, and she was sent to an asylum. So he grows up, and Thanos forms a fascination with death. Not only death is a concept of what comes after life, but death personified. Like, death as a mistress. He falls in love with death. Okay? Death as a child is the only...
In the early, which movie was that? They allude to it at the end. The Avengers. The end of the Avengers movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So... He's fascinated with death. Since he was a child, it's like the only thing that he has known. His mom tried to kill him. Like, a group of his friends get devoured in these caves by these, like, Jupiter Titan lizards. And so death is, like, the only thing that he literally knows. His father, who's a scientist on Titan, which is a moon of Jupiter, he, like, barely listens to his kid.
Which will be visiting in Destiny 2.
Right, correct. Crossover right there, confirmed. That's the next raid boss, is Thanos. So we see that he gets neglected because his father is into the research that he's doing. His brother Eros is praised because he's much like his father. And then Thanos just gets put aside. Thanos starts experimenting. He starts with small animals and then moves on to people. And then he eventually kills his mother. When he kills his mother, he becomes a space pirate. He leaves his planet. He hops on a ship. He travels the universe. He becomes a space pirate. He steals stuff. He kills people. He's doing space chicks, leaving his offspring everywhere. So he does this for years and then comes back. Comes back home to Titan. He comes back home and he encounters Lady Death. On his voyage as a space pirate, he tried really hard to forget Lady Death. But the way you can't forget your first crush, like, he just can't get over Lady Death. Goes back home, he sees her, he tells her, he professes his love to her. Lady Death goes, "You smell of whores. You've been out in space fucking all these alien chicks. You've got all these bastard kids. Like,
all
and then
you STDs.
And you have the audacity to come back and tell me that you love me?" She's like, "You know what you need to do, don't you?" Thanos is like, "I get it. I get what I need to do." And then Thanos goes off to kill his offspring. Every child that he made, every woman that he loved, he kills them both. Every planet that he's been on, he goes back. Everything that he boned before, he kills. This is why Gamora, in the comics anyway, this is why Gamora and Thanos as a parent-child relationship, this is why they can't get along. Okay, this is why Gamora hates her father. Her father is trying to kill her. All right, because her father is trying to do shit for the side chick that he loves so much. That isn't your mom. Okay?
You're not my mom.
You're not my mom.
That's some strong loving.
So already, I've told you an interesting backstory to Thanos. Already you're taking this backstory away from Thanos in the movie. Already
that's a bit much for a movie that they're putting out in theaters. That would be
not appropriate for children.
But you take away.
They did it with Ego already. They already did it with Ego. It kills all his children.
Right, and
by accident.
So now you see why Ego wasn't supposed to be in that movie. So
we already got one dad killing all his kids.
We already got one dad killing. Whoa. We're not the DC universe here.
Illegal hit! Illegal hit!
Shots fired.
Penalty box.
So, but already you're taking away from things. Like, already he's not as bad as he was before. Like, sure, a dude that wants to destroy the world is pretty bad. But a dude that killed his own kids and wants to destroy the world, like, holy shit, don't sit next to this guy. So he forms the Black Order because not only has he left out Gamora, he has to kill Gamora. He finds out that he birthed a son with an inhuman woman. Okay? So he has to go to Earth, where the Inhumans are, to find his son. So what he does, because he doesn't want to say, I'm looking for my kid, what he does is he demands a tribute from the Inhumans. He says, I want you to kill all your kids from the ages of 16 to 21. Because he goes, my kid is around this age, so you know what? Just wipe out all the Inhuman children of that age, and my son will be in there somewhere.
Works out.
Black Bolt, as the king of the Inhumans, denies his request, and that's when Thanos and his Black Order come to Earth, and they start actively looking for Thanos' son, and then they find him. There's a whole battle, the Avengers and the Inhumans. And it's a great read, guys. If you guys want to read it, it's Marvel Now's Infinity. It's just called Infinity. All right, it's the Infinity run that ran back in 2000. I want to say 2014. It's 6 books. It's a great read. It's a fantastic read. It gives you backstory on Thanos, and then you learn about Thane, Thanos' son. So not only has Death tasked him on killing his offspring to show Thanos how much he loves her, she also asked for something else. This greedy bitch, okay? She's like, I want you, just like a woman, to ask for more. She right? She's over here scolding me. Shit's hot. If looks could kill, it'd be live. So she also asks Thanos to, you know what? You love me so much, wipe out half the universe.
You're falling behind.
Half of every life in the universe, I need that gone. So be a darling for me and do that, okay? And Thanos is not only tasked with going back and killing his offspring, he has to wipe out half the universe. Which is why Thanos goes in search of the Infinity Gauntlet. It's the only thing that'll help him achieve his goal completely. Wipe out half of existence, get rid of my children.
Alright, this is what I need, obviously.
I need the tool to get the job done, and the Infinity Gauntlet is that tool. So that is the whole purpose of Thanos getting the gems together and getting the gauntlet and being able to manipulate time and space and pretty much be invincible. So, you know, when you make like I said, when you make the Black Order his children in the movies, it takes away from not only him being a bad guy, it not only takes away from his character, it takes away from the Black Order themselves as characters, because Corvus Glaive is married to Proxima Midnight. So you have this relationship that unfortunately won't be able to be seen on screen because, hey guys, in the movies they're brother and sister.
Yeah, well...
So you see, you're not only taking away from Thanos, but you're taking away from the Black Order as characters.
Okay, quick question. Are these technically his actual, like, biological children in the movies? Or is he just calling his daughters?
No, they are his biological children. So the way in the movies, the way it plays out is, you know how Gamora and Nebula have been going through, like, intense training their whole lives? Thanos has basically been training them to be part of the Black Order.
I wasn't sure if they were kidnapped or something like that.
Nope.
Real
Kind
kids.
of like the... That's different universe.
Kind of like the Jedi. What? Nothing. Yeah, let's not think about that. What? They
Jedi
kidnap
what?
children to do it? No. What?
No, they're the best
Younglings,
ever.
not
I
the
don't,
younglings.
Shh.
I don't
Younglings?
even
What?
understand how you could think such
It's okay.
things.
So yeah, guys, like that just. So the Black Order is going to be like brothers and sisters of Gamora and Nebula. which Gamora and Nebula are going to team up to fight her dad, and apparently they're siblings, in Infinity War. Which happens right now, because we're going over great reads, guys. If you guys are interested in this at all, comic books at all, like I said, Marvel's now Infinity. If you guys want to read the Infinity Gauntlet, that's basically the Infinity War movie is going to be based off the Infinity Gauntlet comic book series. It's like maybe 8 parts long. Also, the Thanos Quest, which is 4 books long, and that's basically Thanos going around the universe collecting all the Infinity Stones. And then also, if you guys want to read Infinity War, there isn't a comic book called the Infinity War, but it's actually the sequel to the Infinity Gauntlet. It's what happens after Thanos loses the gauntlet, gets imprisoned. The evil Adam Warlock, which is a character that they hinted towards at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Adam Warlock, he gets purged, so there's like an evil side of him and a good side of him, and they get purged, so they're 2 different people. Well, the evil side of him gets the Infinity Gauntlet, and then that's the comic book series that is the Infinity War. So that's also another good read, because it's actually Thanos teaming up with the Avengers to stop someone else with an Infinity Gauntlet. So that's a really good read if you guys are into comic books and want to check that out. But they look great. The Black Order look exactly like their comic book counterparts. They look to the T fan-fucking-tastic. I love it. I love that they didn't change the way Black Dwarf look. Corvus Glaive with that staff, like, oh my god, he's gonna look so good on screen. Same thing with Ebony Maw. Ebony Maw is so cool. He's less of a physical character, more of like a mental character, where he actually like possesses Doctor Strange and is in Doctor Strange's body for a while they're looking for Thanos' son.
I was really concerned of how they made the characters look, and they haven't disappointed so far. It's like, when I first saw the Iron Man movies, like, they can't make a Thor movie. They can't bring Thor into this reality to make it look, cohesive at all. And they did such a great job. It's literally amazing what, like, these guys have done. I can't give it up enough. It is.
They've done such a good job. So I have no gripes with any of that. Like, I love it. I love it. So let's get into the actual trailer that people at D23 got to see. So, it started off in space, okay? The Guardians of the Galaxy are they're flying through space in the Milano, and then all of a sudden something fucking hits their ship. What is it? It's Thor in his gladiator costume. So the events from Thor Ragnarok are going to lead directly into Infinity War. So an unconscious Thor gets picked up by the Guardians of the Galaxy. Back on Earth, Spider-Man is on a bus, and the hairs on his arms start to stand up. That's his spider sense. He senses that something is fucking coming. The next scene is Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and the Guardians of the Galaxy on a planet, not Earth, a different planet. They're fighting Thanos. What does Thanos do?
Damn it.
With the gauntlet, he grabs a piece of the moon and he throws it at the Avengers. And at this point, he doesn't have all 6 Infinity Stones in his gauntlet. So, already the trailer, it sounds amazing. What people got to see blew their fucking minds. And it sounds
nuts.
It sounds fucking crazy. They said Captain America has a beard in this movie? Two things
that's
here.
A transformation.
That is, 2 things here. Captain America in the comics does renounce being Captain America, and he becomes the Nomad. Okay? So this could be Steve Rogers as the Nomad. Okay? Or, which is something I want to see. Okay? in the Marvel Now run for Captain America, gets pulled into Dimension Z, which is a universe that Armin Zola created. Okay? And in this universe, he's there for years. I mean, like 13 years of his life is spent there, okay?
Enemy captured.
But in the real world, it's only been like 8 hours. So Captain America in this universe grows a beard. So he's in his Captain America suit, but he has this fantastic beard. Everything is better with beards.
It's true.
Men with beards.
It is.
Jedi, beards. Thor, beards. Birthday cakes, had a beard. Like, everything looks great with a beard. Young Khan, beard. Like...
I feel like everybody's finally listening to me. They understand.
No.
It used to not be a known fact. I just, I waited until everybody came around and understood.
So I hope. I like really hope. It might not happen. I think we're gonna see Steve Rogers as the Nomad. Okay, he's not gonna be in his Captain America colors. He's gonna be his Nomad colors. He's gonna be like black and blue. He's gonna have a beard. But what I really want to see is Steve Rogers Captain America with a beard. I want to see the Captain America suit and then this fucking grizzly, manly beard hanging out of it. Tower. That's what I want to see. Kyle, you're fire team leader. That's what I want to see. We probably won't, though. Like I said, we're probably going to get Nomad, which in the comics, that costume wasn't as cool. It actually... Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember the 70s? Remember when Nightwing became Nightwing and he wasn't Robin anymore and he had that like 70s Elvis jumpsuit?
Yeah.
That's what the Nomad. Yeah, that's what the Nomad suit looks like. I'll post up a picture for you guys later on Twitter.
Well, the cape though. He has a cape though. That's
with the cape.
With a cape.
He was basically Elvis, dude. He was Elvis. He was in a jumpsuit with a cape. He was the fucking king.
Like all velour, like Huggy Bear. It's like an all velour, like he has a pimp cape too.
Huggy Bear.
Some Shaft playing in the background when he comes out. It just looks ridiculous.
So, guys, we're most likely going to see an Avengers Infinity War trailer.
I think it's going to come out during the Hulk movie.
During the Thor Ragnarok movie. Like, when you go in and see the previews, you're going to see an Avengers Infinity War trailer. That's a preview you're going to see. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to get you ready. Next year is going to be, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to wear Huggies or something to the movie theaters because I am going to shit myself, like, from excitement. Like, this is just going to be too much. My body won't be able to control itself. From what we've seen, from the statues, from the costumes that they showed off at D23, from the trailer that everyone saw, I didn't hear one bad thing about the trailer. Every person that reviewed the trailer, because of course they won't show you the trailer, but there's people like talking about the trailer, like, oh, it was so amazing when like Thanos brought down a piece of the moon and fucking threw it at the Avengers, fucking awesome. So everyone is saying that the trailer blew their minds. Not one person has one bad thing to say about the trailer. All those things that were hinted towards at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming, when that plane with the last shipment is being flown out, it's got Captain America's new prototype for his shield, which is why I think he might come back as a bearded Captain America instead of the Nomad. When they talk about the prototype for his new shield, when they talk about Thor's magic belt, when they talk about the new Hulkbuster armor suit, all this stuff is going to come back in Avengers Infinity War. We're going to get to see all this stuff that was teased in Homecoming in Infinity War. I can't wait. It's going to be great. I don't know exactly what they're going to do as far as like, because they're going to split this up into two parts. Ideally, this is the way it should work. The first Avengers Infinity War Part 1, you get to learn about Thanos, his backstory, and you get to see him collect the Infinity Gems. At the end of that movie, he's got the gauntlet, he's got all 6 gems, it's go time. At the beginning of the second movie, you're at the peak. It's go time. The Avengers lose. You see this kind of Empire Strikes Back moment where everything is depressing, goes down.
All looks gloom.
And then during the second act, the Avengers get their shit together. The third act, they fight Thanos again, and they win this time. The balance is restored to the universe. 2-part movie done perfectly. You get time to explain the bad guy and the Black Order, because we already know the Avengers. They're going to introduce a couple of new Avengers, like the way they introduced Spider-Man in Civil War, but we most likely won't get backstory of them until their own solo movies, the way they introduced Black Panther, but we won't get to learn about more about him until the Black Panther movie. They're going to introduce Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, in Infinity War, but we won't get to actually know about her until her solo movie, which might be a flashback, might be before Infinity War. So it gives you, because you don't need to explain the superheroes. We already know who Captain America, Iron Man, Spider. We already know who's Fat Guitar. Okay, we love him, fucking love him. Want to hug him? I want to kiss him. I want to do things to Tony Stark that Gal's wife wants to do to Tony Stark. Okay,
Big time.
Now, you take that time to explain the bad guys. You take that time to explain the Black Order, explain Thanos, and build up suspense for the second movie. And I have no doubt that this is what the Russo brothers are going to do. Because they've shown it with Civil War, they've shown it with Winter Soldier. They can juggle characters and tell a really good story. I think it has to do with the fact that they're brothers, they grow up with each other, they know their ins and outs, and they can work together as one cohesive brain, as opposed to two people that are co-directing a movie. So I think this is why this works perfectly, and the Russo brothers, they're the dudes for the job, because they love the source material, they love the comics. Anytime that they can make an oh shit moment happen on screen, they will. Anytime that they can put a 2-page splash from a comic book onto the screen, they will. Because that's what that air hangar sequence was in Civil War. When you have Cap and his team on one side, Iron Man and his team on the other side. That, for a little boy, is turning the page and then seeing that 2-page spread on the screen. That is, oh shit, it's about to go down. Like, they do it perfectly. So they're the ones to do Infinity War, and I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm excited for Thanos. I hope they make him evil as fuck. Like, Loki's a pretty bad guy, but I need someone. I think Loki's like the baddest guy right now, right? Like, the Red Skull technically, I guess, was, being a huge,
I think that Thanos might end up killing his other daughter.
Nebula. You think Nebula's gonna go?
I think she's gonna die first. For
betrayal. Could be a possibility.
He's gonna break her neck.
A little tidbit for you guys. In the comic book, the Infinity Gauntlet, Thanos actually loses his gauntlet for a hot second, and Nebula gets it. So I don't know if they'll do that in the movie.
That sounds like it would be complete chaos.
So I don't know. We'll see. But guys, I think this will do it. I think we're gonna wrap it up.
But are you sure though?
There's so much to talk about, but we're going long here, and then
I haven't slept yet either.
Yeah, Con hasn't slept. We're going long here. YouTube has this thing where I can only edit stuff that's like under 3 hours long.
And 20 minutes till D2 drops.
Yeah, and we're like 20 minutes till D2 drops, which is going to be great. We're going to go right into the beta. Except for Con, he's going to go right into Sleepland.
He's like, no, I'll just beta.
But guys, next week we're going to talk about Star Wars, because they showed off some Star Wars stuff. Episode 8, fucking pumped. And we're also going to talk about The Lion King. The live-action Lion King movie that Jon Favreau... Yes, sing it, Shug, because people got to see that scene at D23. They saw the Circle of Life opening scene, and everyone cried. They said it was exactly like watching The Lion King, the original Lion King. It brought back those feelings. They said it was shot for shot, exactly like in the anime.
My fave.
And people loved the way the lions looked. They said Rafiki holding up Simba, putting the mud on his like forehead. Like, they said that all looked fantastic, and Jon Favreau did an amazing job. And this movie is gonna make anyone who goes to it fucking shed tears. Like, they're not gonna be giving out 3D glasses at this movie. They're gonna be handing out fucking boxes of Kleenex. Okay? Like, here you go. A box of Kleenex. Go enjoy The Lion King. So, like I said, guys, they showed it off at D23. Everyone liked the Avengers Infinity trailer. No one had a bad thing to say about it. Everyone loved it. So we'll talk about that next week. So much that came with D23 this week, guys. But let's end it here. Let's do plugs. Fucking exciting. We went on that. Spider-Man Homecoming was so good. Let's do plugs. Gao, where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook at Dave Jersey, Plattsburgh, New York. You can find me on Twitter at DJJGao, and you can find me in Ion Indie Magazine in Chaos's Corner.
Chaos's Corner. That's right. Find those sweet jams right there. Gauzy knows how to write a song. Let me tell you. Sugah.
Thank you.
Where can people find you?
Adela Red, whether that be on the Instagram or the Facebook or the Twitter.
She does costume and cosplay, guys. I think we can do it. I think we could fucking make a movie like the four of us. Like, I'll write the motherfucker. Mm-hmm. Khan will direct it. Mm-hmm. Gao will do the music, and you can do the costumes. Like, let's fucking do it.
All right.
Sold.
Khan, where can people find you?
You can find me on the interwebs of Twitter at YUNG_KHAN, YoungKhan_. You can find me on the podcast, Destiny Kinda Creators Radio, live Friday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern, where I droll on about Crucible and how I play badly. You can find me on Instagram at YoungKhan. You want to see cute dog pictures of me flexing and pictures of emotes. That's a thing that happens. And you can find me on PSN and Xbox at YoungKhan _ for PSN because they don't know how workspaces work. And I think that's it.
That's it.
I think I'm hitting hour 26 now. I'll be awake, so. I'm rambling. I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
And
I'm rambling.
he's ready to go right into D2.
Yeah,
D2. Ready. Right into it.
D to the pillow.
Guys.
Oh, I cannot wait.
I'm Soopkichen. That's SOOPKICHEN. You guys can find me talking about how much I fucking love Spider-Man Homecoming on Twitter. You guys can find me taking pictures of me with a Spider-Man mask doing some thwip shit on Instagram. And guys, of course, you guys can catch me live here. I'll be streaming most of the day some Destiny 2 beta, guys, here on Twitch. It's going to be a full day of work for me, guys. And then, of course, you can catch this and previous episodes of Waking Up with Soup and Sugar on YouTube. That's Soopkichen as well, guys. Real quick, before we leave here, we didn't talk about this at all, but we had a ton of fucking fun with Khan at Guardian Con. Haha, Khan and Guardian Con. Meeting this guy, he is so swole, so sexy, so handsome. He couldn't keep his hands off of me.
I couldn't actually.
Like, we had so much fun.
So much fun.
So much
Unbelievable.
Fun. And I can't wait for next year. Next year, we're going out to the grotto with you guys. We're not going to... Me and Shug, we would just like... We were old people. We'd have some soup and then fall asleep and then wait for the next day. I'm like, well, we're pretty tired. I'm just going to have some chicken noodle and close my eyes.
If anybody's like thinking about going to Guardian Con, just don't just go. Just save up now. You got a whole year. It was
get your tickets
amazing.
as soon as they're available. Be ready and save up.
Yeah.
It was definitely worth
the adventure.
It's definitely worth
Meeting
it.
Soop and Sugah in the flesh, it was worth every moment at the on the flight, and me sweating as the plane went into the air. I'm like, this better be worth it. And then Soop and Sugah, it was worth it. I can do this again next year.
It was so funny. I like go to get my badge, right? And then we need our IDs, and our IDs are back in the car. So Suge's like, I'm gonna run back to the car and get the IDs. And I'm waiting, and then I'm waiting by the glass door, and I'm like looking out, see if Suge's coming. And all of a sudden, there's this big, hairy motherfucker coming towards me with the biggest smile, and I'm like, oh shit. And it's young Khan. Like, he gave me the biggest hug. And, Jesus, he was hanging out with
Too Loud?
Too Loud and
X-Ray.
X-Ray from Destiny Ghost Stories. So, and then Too Loud, of course, his co-host on the DCC radio. And previously, Aim Assist.
And before that, DOD.
But just hanging out with everyone, you know. Deep Fried Dave is someone that I made friends with and was able to meet. You know, and same thing with Miss Mordor, just hanging out, Dubhead Gaming, you know, all these new people that I didn't previously interact with, that are good people and I talk to now, and we have fun and we joke around, you know, and it's all through.
It was like Twitter, but with beers.
It's Twitter with beers, yes, beers and beards. So it was fucking fantastic. Had a great time, and then these guys are too much fun. It was too much fun hanging out with these guys. So thank you guys for tuning in. However it is that you tune in, whether it's live here on Twitch or later on YouTube, we appreciate the support, guys. We appreciate you guys sitting around hearing us ramble about what was right and what was wrong with these nerdy comic book movies and video games. So we'll catch you guys next week when we do another 2-hour show about The Lion King.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
The other side of the beta.
Right? The other side of the beta. Bye, guys. It was terrible. It was fucking terrible. Peace.
Bye.